spider and cry the whole time?
Me, no, you're
I
asking
feel
the
like
wrong
you cry
person
anyway,
here.
so.
I would, but it'll go
No,
away.
I mean, like you do cry all the time anyway.
I don't cry. Not on the podcast.
Like I said, you're asking the wrong
Just
person.
any other time.
I'll at least laugh about it.
The spiders don't follow me.
Yeah.
Started.
She's about to eat, start eating, and she looked at the record. She's like, "Oh,
Ow! Take a big old bite.
Do you want me to do the intro?
sure."
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bonsai Movie Crew. We are the Bonsai Movie Crew. We are gathered here today with our lovely sisters and brothers.
Who's getting married?
She went straight church on us.
With
She's the only one not married, so.
Brother Eric, and sister, I almost said Brother Karen,
Sister, brother.
and Sister Karen, and
Mhm.
Father Joseph, and
Are you
me.
saying
Church is the
you saying
prayer
your dad's a
father.
God.
priest? This is bad.
No one ever said this was a church, Eric. You don't know
Yeah,
what he's the father
Father,
of.
sister, brother. I mean, that's pretty
you don't know what
churchy.
he's the father of. We could be worshiping the devil here, okay?
I mean, I'd hate to see him as a priest.
I'm pretty sure there's a name for those people. Anyways,
What's the name
I
for
don't know.
those people?
You know, the people that worship God? Or
Priest.
Satan?
No, the leaders of cults. What's their names?
Cult leaders?
Yeah.
I thought there was a special name for it.
No, usually within the cult they would have a special name for their leader, but it depends on the cult.
It's
Yeah.
usually
Google
God.
Well, she's saying the person
Or
who would lead the
prophet,
cult,
or-
yeah, like a prophet or something
Yeah.
like
Is there a
that.
special name for cult leaders?
Usually prophet.
Yeah.
Hold on, Reddit's gonna answer my questions.
I'm
We
going with prophet.
I think we just need an Alexa down here.
Hello all. I'm currently working on my next campaign and designing one of my main villains.
That
He is the
doesn't
leader
sound
of a
like
cult.
an answer.
You're asking the wrong thing. Reddit's a
He
bad.
is-
That's like
he is the
dark
leader of-
hole.
Yeah.
A cult of Orcus in my homebrew setting named Lazarus.
Lazarus.
I don't know.
No,
what
Lazarus.
Yeah,
La-
Lazarus. I think you're reading off of somebody's story or
Yeah.
something.
a cultist.
Reddit is a dark hole. You
No,
don't
that's
ever
occultist.
ask Reddit.
That's
No. It says,
That's
what do
what-
you call a person who runs a cult? Cultist.
is it ACUL or OC?
It's CULT
Okay.
IST. No, come back.
Okay.
I like your answer more. Prophet or cult leader. This is what I call
A
them.
prophet is someone like one of the brothers of God or whatever, main brothers.
But
No.
cult leaders usually like to think or like to tell their
Yeah.
their people that they talk directly to God.
Are
That's how
cult
they get
leaders-
people to
Or
follow
their
them.
god, whatever their god may be.
That's how they get
Yeah.
people to follow them.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
I talked to him directly. I am
Or
your
I'm
prophet.
the next
I'm
coming
your
of Jesus.
or I am your vessel, or I am your
prophets don't accept money. Cult leaders do.
goddamn
That's
right
the
they do.
difference.
I need to start a cult.
I'm pretty sure what's his face that started Jonestown called himself a prophet or called himself the next coming or whatever, and that's I mean
She
he
said
took-
coming.
he took money, so I'm pretty sure they
Prophets
don't give a shit.
predict the future.
Whatever.
A
Anyway,
religion is a cult that has gained respect.
okay.
I mean,
They're not lying
They're
though.
not though.
religion
Anyway,
isn't a.
We're going way off.
We are
topic.
going way off topic.
Oh,
All right.
sorry.
Anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on our social stuff. Madison was supposed to do the intro, but she got really off subject. And then don't forget to check out our Discord.
I have no.
Get in there and
excuses.
talk to us. We're looking for some action. You know what I mean? Get in there. And, I don't know. Even if you get in there and just decide, hey, I'm going to post a picture of my nipples.
Maybe your
Don't do that though. Unless
Maybe your post will end up on the podcast. You don't know.
if there's any, no, I can't.
Nipple?
I can't.
That'd be a.
I can't
It'd be
say.
hilarious
can't-
to just
can't
see
do
a
that.
random hairy nipple.
Yeah, I was gonna
like
say
on
the dudes okay, but like females, please don't. Like, I'm not trying to get in trouble, you know. And
I mean,
dudes on the other hand, that shit's funny. Go ahead.
I mean, how can you tell?
That is true.
It's just a nipple.
I know,
Yeah.
but
now if it was
usually
like
you
a
get-
full on like, hey, then it's like, okay, yeah. But if it's just like literally just the nipple,
But like if
you're
there's
not-
a little hair around it, like a few hairs around
Wouldn't that be
it.
funny if there was like a hairy nipple and then you posted it and then there was some girl like, "Why'd you post my nipple? That was
Oh
just
my
for
God.
you."
I really don't think a girl would say, "Hey, I got hairy nipples."
You never know.
You never know, man. There's some weird fucking
Nowadays,
people.
there's girls that get really offended if you get offended that they don't shave their pits. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm glad my wife hates hair.
Yeah.
Because she has no hair on her body. So it's
She
great.
shaves her arms too.
Shaves everything. She
I don't
saves
shave my
everything.
arms. My
Yeah,
arms.
no
You just
hair.
walk in on her,
I
she's
don't
just
really
covered
have
in
to
fucking
worry
gel,
about it.
like
I've never
shaving
really
cream.
had-
Shaving her back and
that
everything.
problem.
Shaving her
I just
chest.
don't
It's
care.
like just everything only sees her eyes.
Oh, God.
Anyway, yeah, anyway, let's move on.
X, Facebook, Twitter,
They already
TikTok.
know. They already know.
They know.
It's
that.
on. It was on the screen.
What if
It's
they're
good.
old?
Huh?
What if they're old? They don't know what those symbols mean.
We're old. We know what they mean. It's fine.
I mean,
You guys aren't old though. Like I'm talking like grandma.
and I'm sorry
And
for
they're
you.
probably
for-
not on
90.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the listeners and stuff, but I mean, all the important shit's going to be in the description anyway. So if you want to go to like the Discord or the X or the TikTok, it's in the description
TikTok.
every week. So
Yep.
He said tech.
the only one I don't put in there is I don't put in the Instagram and I don't put in the Facebook. So because I don't really care.
We do have Facebook. We do have Instagram. So if you have those, you can check us out on there.
Just type in the Bonsai Movie
Yeah.
Crew. You're going to find it. Anyway, let's get into our creator profile. Can anybody guess who we're doing this week?
Billy Zane.
You didn't even give me a
That,
chance.
that would be funny because
No,
Wait.
no, we're not doing Billy
Damn
Zane.
it. Christopher Lloyd.
We watched.
that's
It's
what
not
I said.
Christopher Lloyd.
Is it
Damn.
No,
Did we already do the boy?
the
Leah Thompson.
The
Leah
mo-
Thompson.
Okay.
Who's that? Which
The mom.
one was
She's
that?
the mom.
Mom.
She plays the mom. She plays the mom. She had
You
the fake
smoke
boobs. and
too?
What else is she in?
Oh
a
man,
few things.
the Beverly Hillbillies remake. She was in.
I never
Little
watched
Rascals.
She was
Yeah.
in Little Rascals for a minute. She played the ballet instructor.
Yep.
that. Oh.
And then she was in.
Come on, the best one.
God, what else?
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
She
Howard
was
the
fucking
Duck,
hot
yeah.
in that one.
She was hot.
Of course
in
she
this.
was.
Oh, that's true.
She was also
She almost
in.
made it with the
She
duck
was
in
in
that.
Yeah.
Dennis the Menace. She played mom in that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's been in a bunch of stuff. She
She
was in
plays-
that
she plays a
one
lot of
rom
mom.
com from the '80s with.
Oh, Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yeah, which ironically that dude was supposed to
Play
be
Eric Stoltz. He was supposed to play
Yeah.
Marty in this. Well, he did for a hot minute.
for a minute, and then they're like, "We're gonna reshoot all your stuff. 'Cause You're not funny.
You don't work in this.
You're not funny." Anyway, who wants to read it? Karen, do you want to read
Yeah, I
it?
can read it.
I was gonna volunteer, but okay.
I volunteered as tribute. That's the only thing I know about that movie.
Pretty funny. So
I
this,
object.
so her creator profile, I couldn't find
It's
her
the only thing I know
biography
about
because I usually just go to biography.com. Hers, ironically, was on imdb.com.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know they had biographies on there. I might keep going there for them because that's awesome.
Is it long?
No, not really. No longer than usual.
I get quite a bit of trivia from there, and then I get it from other places too. But I don't always like their trivia on IMDb.
I gotta stop.
Leah Thompson. Leah Catherine Thompson was born May 31st, 1961 in Rochester, Minnesota. I didn't know they had a Rochester in Minnesota.
Rochester. I didn't even know that was a thing.
She is the youngest of 5 children. Her parents are Barbara and Cliff Thompson. Since all of her siblings were much older than her, Leah says it seemed like she had more than 2 parents. The family lived in the Starlight Motel, all the kids sharing a room. Things began to look up for the family when Leah's father got a job in Minneapolis where the family moved. Leah's parents divorced when she was 6, and her mother decided to maintain the family. This wasn't the easiest job considering her mother was alcohol addicted at the time. When she found the strength to quit drinking, she took a job playing the piano and singing in a bar to support Leah and her siblings.
What a crazy transition.
I know, right?
I used to be an alcoholic, but now I sing and play the piano
in a bar.
in a bar.
I mean, there's no worry there.
Yeah.
When Leah was 7, her mother remarried. Ever since Leah was little, she loved to dance, ballet to be exact. She would practice 3 to 4 hours every day. Her first role was as a mouse in The Nutcracker. After Leah turned 14, she performed in more than 45 ballets on stages such as the Minnesota Dance Theater, the Pennsylvania Ballet Company, and the Ballet Repertory. She won
That
scholarship.
explains why she was a ballet instructor in Little Rascals.
And she's so skinny. That
She's
makes
very
sense,
skinny, yeah.
She won scholarships to the American Ballet Theater and the San Francisco Ballet. At age 19, she auditioned for, I'm not going to even try, who later told her that she was a beautiful dancer but too stocky. Leah knew her dreams had been crushed. At that point, she decided to turn to acting. She began working as a waitress, also making 22 Burger King commercials and a few Twix commercials. She was perfect.
22 Burger King commercials?
Yeah, have you ever seen her Burger King commercials?
No.
Her and Elizabeth Shue were in a few of them together.
Were they?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And a few Twix commercials. She was perfect for these parts simply because she was the average girl down the street from the Midwest. Everyone who knows her can't believe she was and still is so completely different, trying to be independent and fight against the system. In 1982, Leah made some type of computer game or interactive movie known as Murder Anyone. Her first role was in the movie Jaws 3D as a water ski bunny. Although she couldn't swim or ski, which she still can't, there she met Dennis Quaid, who became her fiancé and acting coach. I did not know that either.
Dennis Quaid?
Dennis Quaid.
You couldn't find somebody better looking?
No, he landed some pretty sweet tail back then. He ended up marrying Meg Ryan. So, there's that. When she was hot, too.
She said there's
Yeah.
Her next
she ain't
role,
hot anymore.
Her next role was in All the Right Moves in 1983, where she acted opposite Tom Cruise. Director Michael Chapman was so disappointed with her performance that he almost fired her. Between 1983 and 1984, Leah appeared in other teen movies such as Red Dawn, The Wildlife, and Going Undercover.
That's right, she was in Red Dawn, the original.
Yeah.
And believes it was lucky that in these movies they were able to use anyone who could walk and talk. Leah's biggest accomplishment and her break came from the first Back to the Future in 1985. It was the biggest hit of 1985, and Leah was suddenly the most wanted actress. She could have her pick of any role she wanted to take on, and she chose Howard the Duck. Although it was George Lucas' production, the critics turned the movie and Leia down. Afterward, director Howard Deutsch. It's Deutch.
Dutch.
I'm never really sure how
Howard
to say
Dutch.
that.
Dutch.
Deutsch.
Yes.
He a part
It's
in his
German.
movie,
Dutch.
Some Kind of
Add an
Wonderful.
E on there, it's douche.
Yeah, but she refused. After he urged her to do it, she reconsidered. She won the Young Artist Award for Best Young Actress. During filming, Howard and Leah fell in love, and she called it off with Dennis.
The duck?
No, it's the douche guy.
Howard the Duck douche.
No, yeah, that's his middle name, actually. She went on to
Is
film.
it actually? Oh.
She went on to film The
A
Wizard
lot.
Gullible.
A lot.
Loneliness, which was her first movie as a woman rather than a youngster. Leah went on to film wouldn't it have been Back to the Future? Because she was, well, no, she played a teenager as his mom. Never mind.
Yeah.
Back to the Future Part 2 in an episode of Tales from the Crypt in 1989. She then married Howard, with his last name
Dooch.
being the weird name. She continued
Dutch.
filming Back to the Future Part 3, Montana, and Article 99. Leah then took a break to stay home with her firstborn, Madeline, with the douche last name.
Madeline Douche.
She jumped back into acting in Dennis the Menace, where she says she just played herself. Then it was on to the Beverly Hillbillies, Stolen Babies, The Little Rascals, and The Substitute Wife. In 1994, she had her second child, Zoe. Leah then went into filming The Unspoken Truth. It was then that she had first given the script of a new NBC sitcom, Caroline in the City. It was probably the best decision Leah ever made. She won a People's Choice Award for Best Actress in a New Sitcom. Unfortunately, with all of NBC's problems, Caroline in the City kept being moved to a worse and worse time slot, giving it horrible ratings. The show ended after only 4 seasons. Bad ideas from the creators didn't help either. Leah quickly went on to The Right to Remain Silent, The Unknown Cyclist, and A Will of Their Own. She also guest starred in a Friends episode, the one with the baby on the bus, as Carolyn Duffy.
Me and Ada just watched that episode a few days ago.
I've never seen one episode, not one.
Of Friends? Where are you from?
Pivot.
Never,
Under the Rock.
Pivot.
Pivot.
never wanted to, I guess.
It's funny because whenever they were laughing,
Oh,
it was hard to film that scene because of how much they were actually
Oh, yeah.
laughing.
They
I've seen
couldn't stop.
bits and pieces. Like I've seen that scene.
Pivot.
And on the Larry Sanders Show, Leah also did some stage work, including starring as Sally Bells in Cabaret. The show toured and also appeared on Broadway. She then did the Vagina Monologues in L.A. She had
The
a
what?
stint. You never heard of the Vagina Monologues?
No.
No.
It's a play.
Is it? Do vaginas talk?
I don't know much about it. I just know it's a play.
That's so
Just
weird.
big old vagina costumes going around here.
Yeah, just talking to
Flapping
each
them,
other.
like, talking, yeah.
Probably.
Like, man, let me tell you about the day I had.
I'm sure it's probably like some kind of. I would rather not guess because I'm sure it's probably. I don't know.
Feeling awfully clammy today.
She had a stint in a
Pretty
dramatic
moist.
role as a Chief Deputy Assistant District Attorney, Camille Paris, on For the People. Thompson has starred in more than 30 films, 25 television shows, 4 television series, more than 20 ballets, and starred on Broadway and Cabaret. Leah can currently be seen on ABC's Family's Peabody Award-winning hit show Switched at Birth, where she acts and directs. Leah's movie credits include All the Right Moves, Red Dawn, Some Kind of Wonderful, The Beverly Hillbillies, Howard the Duck, J. Edgar, Ping Pong Summer, Fleegan, The Year of Spectacular Men. That was a film written by her daughter, Madeline. Thompson partnered with International Mirrorball trophy holder Artem Chivintsev
Sure.
on in the 19th season of Dancing with the Stars, playing 6th. Leah lives in Los Angeles with her husband of over 30 years, same dude, and their talented daughters Madeline and Zoe, along with many dogs, fish, horses, chickens, a cat, a tortoise, and a parrot.
Could
She
never.
She supports and often
That
performs
would be dead.
for breast cancer, mental health, and Alzheimer's charities. Leah is currently writing her first book of essays. That's Leah Thompson.
So she hasn't done much recently, so that tells me that she's pretty much stayed out of the spotlight.
It sounds like she's busy, like trying to just write.
But
and-
she's also not that big of a movie star. If you saw a picture of her and showed her to somebody, most people aren't going to know who she is. And I'm like, oh, that's the girl from Back to the Future.
yeah, maybe.
That's about all they're gonna know. She's not a huge, well-known actress. We know her because of nostalgia, 80s, and all that stuff. Like, she was big in the 80s, but like in the 90s and so on, like, not so much. So I always just thought she was really pretty. So, like, as a kid, like watching Back to the Future, I had the hots for her.
I did too. Well, Howard the Duck.
I was gonna say I knew her
Howard the
from
Duck.
Howard the Duck actually before Back to the Future.
Oh, I knew her mostly from Back to the Future. So
Her wearing some punk outfits. And,
That crimped hair.
crimped hair, yeah.
The crimped hair did something for you.
yeah.
Anyway, favorite Leah Thompson movie, I guess.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
I've never
Yeah.
seen Howard the Duck.
You should.
It's
You're gonna
good
hate
movie.
it.
No, you won't.
I don't think you will.
You may not.
I don't like animal movies.
I really
It's not-
like Howard the Duck too. I think I'm gonna go with that. Whenever it comes to her, like you could say Back to the Future, but I'm
the
pretty
duck
sure
is sitting
like
in the bathtub just going. He goes through the wall, and she just continues like nothing's
She doesn't
happened.
even stop. She just like keeps going. It's not a good movie
Oh.
as far as like making a whole lot of sense, or I mean, it makes sense from the perspective of having a plot.
it's
But,
technically a Marvel movie.
yeah,
Howard the Duck's in the Marvel universe.
he is.
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. For
Yeah.
like
He's
a
from
split second.
Duck World, not our planet.
Yeah,
He's an alien technically.
technically, yeah.
I want to know what you're talking about, but I
And then he came to Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
I know.
And he met
Anyway,
Got to take it
Beverly.
from one couch to sent to another.
Probably Back to the Future.
obviously, that's probably all you know her from, really.
Yep.
You never
Besides
watched Dennis
Little
the Menace?
Rascals. Yeah, but I was never the hugest fan of that movie either.
I liked
Love
it.
That
Dennis
was a
the
good one.
Menace. Apple.
It is a good movie though.
I
That was
like
one of the
it.
last movies that old dude did, isn't it?
Walter Matthau.
Yeah.
I think so.
You shoots that paint up.
Hey,
in the
Christopher
air.
Lloyd's in that too.
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
Yep. He plays, actually, if I had to
That
choose
little-
my favorite movie of his, that might be it. Because
That
I liked
little-
him as a bad guy.
That
dude.
little cross-eyed kid.
Yeah.
Loved him. Gunther.
Yeah.
Gunther. God, he was my favorite.
All right, let's move on. We got one through that pretty quick, actually.
We did.
Let's get into what we've been watching this week.
Woo!
What the hell have you been watching?
Oh, start with Karen.
Near Dark.
Really? I was
yeah,
thinking about. Well, I almost watched that the other day.
I didn't care for it. I never seen it before.
You've never seen Near Dark? Oh, I love it, dude. I love Near Dark.
It's
one of my favorite vampire
makeup
movies.
was really good.
The makeup, I like the.
I like the aesthetic.
I like the grittiness. I like the aesthetic, and I also like the fact that they don't grow fangs
Yeah,
or anything.
yeah.
Like they kind of keep it a little grounded.
The plot was shit.
Yeah, the plot was pretty shitty. The biggest plot hole about the movie is so she can have a full blood transfusion and be human again.
No, that's not even the biggest plot hole. Like, it doesn't even make a lot of sense. So, like, she shows up out of nowhere, and he starts, like, creeping on her. He's not even hitting on her. He's creeping on her. And she stops him from driving in the middle of this drive, starts talking about listening to the night. He's still creeping on her hardcore. They get back into the truck, and then she starts talking about never being in a hurry. And then they stop again, and then all of a sudden she's in a hurry because the sun's about to come up. But she was just a second ago never in a hurry. And then, like, she bites him or whatever, and then she doesn't even tell him what's going on. She just books it. Like, she just runs, and he could die, but she doesn't care. All of a sudden she does care. They come back for him, but she does care now. And they come back for him and, you know, take him in full view of his parent or his dad, which opens up that whole can of worms.
Wow, you really did overthink this, didn't you?
I didn't overthink it. It's a fucking plot.
Yeah,
It's the
she
whole
was
point of
like-
watching
she's
a movie.
explaining it.
It's the first 10 minutes of the movie, though.
Yeah, sets up the whole fucking movie, right?
I don't know. I'm not going to hate on the movie. I love the movie.
I didn't care for
That
it.
it's also one of my favorite.
There was a lot of things to love about it. It just wasn't the plot.
It's one of my favorite Bill Paxton movies.
The plot does
Like,
not
Bill
make
Paxton's
any fucking
awesome in
sense.
that movie.
Bill Paxton was basically Chet as a vampire.
Who?
Weird Science.
I ain't seen Weird Science in so
Every
long.
time he go as he laughed, I'm like, oh god, it's Chet.
Oh yeah. I don't care. I thought it was awesome.
No, I'm not saying it. He was great. All of the actors were great.
Yeah.
I loved the aesthetic. I loved their acting. I loved the action. I loved everything. But the plot made absolutely no fucking sense.
It's like half the actors from Aliens
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah. It made no fucking sense. So, no, I didn't care for it.
Okay.
I mean, some of your movies don't have a lot of plots.
Yeah, but they're meant to not have a plot.
Okay.
I can't believe you've never seen it.
I never
That's
seen
wild.
it. I wanted to watch it because I'd never seen it. And I
So,
heard
this
such
movie was
amazing things.
supposed to be.
it was supposed to be a really good. I've heard nothing but great things about this vampire movie and how it was like on par with like the Lost Boys and how like it was just
Eh,
you know. That's all I'd ever heard about it was like, oh, you want to.
I don't think I'd compare it to the Lost Boys.
Oh, that's
but
all I ever heard was a comparison to Lost Boys. Like, oh, you want a movie that's going to rival Lost Boys. You want a movie that's like,
I don't know about
you
that.
got to watch. That's all I
Lost
ever
Boys.
heard.
That movie and Lost Boys are like way on different
Did
pages.
we already do The Lost Boys?
No.
no, not yet.
Is
But
it in
that's all I ever heard was the comparison between the two. And so, like, I wanted to really watch it, not just because of that, but like the one thing I always saw was the Bill Paxton picture with his face all burned up, you know? And I always really thought that looked good. I loved the makeup in it. They did a great job on all the makeup that they did. Like every time that they would get burned or like just a little burned or, you know, that stuff was great.
Yeah.
Like they did a really good job on the movie. Whoever wrote it just was smoking crack or something. Like they needed to go back and fix that or something.
I don't get me wrong. I know that the plot isn't it's very thin, and there's a lot of holes in it.
Well, and they don't the character. I guess probably my biggest problem with the plot was that the characters do things that don't make sense.
Right.
Like after he gets away from them and his dad does that transfusion thing or whatever, and they're free and clear, so to speak, they just sit there in their house and wait on him to come and get them like sitting ducks. Why?
I don't know that they thought that they were coming back to get them.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know.
They knew where they lived and they were pissed at him. They've made it very clear that they were going to kill him, even after he saved their lives. He's like, well, you bought some time, but we're still going to kill you.
Right. I don't know, man.
Just, the stuff they did didn't make sense as characters. I'm like, why are you sitting there? Like, fucking go. They already said they're going to kill your sister. Like, fucking
What Jeremiah
leave.
think of it?
Didn't like it
I
either.
didn't like it either.
For the same reasons. He didn't understand why the characters did things they did, and just didn't make much sense.
Okay.
But everything else we loved. I mean, like, the aesthetic, everything else was amazing. The Seventh Sign, Caddyshack, and She Came from the Woods. That's it.
She Came from the Woods.
I had never heard of it. Jeremiah found it. It's only a couple years old, but it's supposed to be like this horror comedy. Bill Sadler actually wrote it and produced it, or he co-wrote it or something, but he did produce it. It's sort of like that, camp story where, like, there's a witch in the woods or whatever. They release her. Didn't care for it
Was
overall.
it a comedy?
Yeah,
So
it was
it
a
was a-
horror comedy. But I'll tell you what, there was a lot more horror than comedy in it.
It doesn't sound like a horror comedy.
It had some comedy in it, but I wouldn't call it a horror comedy. I'd call it a horror movie with some laughter.
Some comedy elements.
Yeah, because overall it was pretty more. It was more horror. There was a lot of times I was watching it going like, you need to turn around. Like, you're gonna get it. Turn around. You know what I mean? Like, it was creepy. But the plot itself, there was at least 2 huge plot holes, and overall it just wasn't a great movie. But that's it. That's all I got.
Eric, what'd you watch, man?
So I've been on a Pirates of the Caribbean
I
binge.
just went through one of those not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm on the Fountain of Youth.
Is that the newest one?
No, the newest one's Dead Man Tells No Tales.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that all you watched?
That's all I watched.
Okay. Madison, what did you watch?
I watched this one movie. It was, I didn't know what it was. I was on YouTube Shorts and I saw a clip from it, and it was of 2 cars like spinning around each other, and then the people in the front seat had like guns held up to their head, and they ducked at the same time, and the 2 bad guys shot each other. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. What movie is that? So I got in the comments and I found it. It was called My Fault, and it was on Amazon. So I watched it, and I did not know it was a romance action, and it was also Hispanic. So
You should probably look that kind of stuff up before.
So I got out. I was like, okay, so I can work through the subtitles things. I've done it with plenty of like Japanese stuff and everything. So
Madison comes out of the room, starts talking Spanish.
it was about 2 step siblings who fell in love with each other.
Gross.
A little too close.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And even in the movie, too, their friends were like, isn't that technically incest? They were like, it doesn't matter.
I mean, not technically, but it's still weird.
Yeah, it's
A little close.
pretty,
I know the whole
pretty
time
weird.
I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, it's technically not incest, but it is
Got it.
fucking weird.
So I was watching it, but the action and like racing scenes, because it was like it had street racing and everything in it, so those scenes
course it
were
did.
really cool. But like the romance scenes were just, I couldn't. It made my skin crawl. But I watched that and a lot of Henry Danger. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Okay, so I went on a movie watching spree on Sunday because I didn't feel like doing shit. I just sat on my couch watching movies and painting miniatures. But before that, actually, I didn't say this last week. I watched God damn it, I can't remember the name of it. Something Angels. Something.
You said it last week, I thought.
Did I?
think
Talking
so.
about Alan Ritchson and
Yeah.
Hilary
Yeah.
Swank.
It was
I did.
Fallen,
Okay.
Is it Fallen Angels?
No, I don't remember the name.
I
of
think
it.
you didn't remember the name of it last week, but you were talking about it. The
I
one
thought
with
you
all
said
the guys in it.
We're talking about the sad movie.
No. This is a movie that I watched. It's got Hilary Swank in it.
Is it a sad movie?
Maybe not.
It's the one that I said about the girl who had the disease, the lungs needed,
Broken?
or the liver transplant, and it's based on a true story.
Maybe not.
Anyway, it's something Angel. I don't remember, but it's got Alan Ritchson in it, and it was one of those tear jerkers. But it was like a feel good movie or whatever. I was kind of in the mood for one of those a couple weeks ago. So, and I knew that. So, and you guys know me. I love Alan Ritchson, so I wanted to watch it because of him. So we watched it. It was pretty good. But this past week here, I watched. I haven't gotten to watch anything new with. I was Ordinary Angels.
Yeah.
Ordinary Angels. That's what the name of it was. So I haven't gotten to watch too much TV, but we did watch some movies. So Sunday we watched Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg and like Tyrese and some other people.
That's another kind of tearjerker in a way.
A little bit, yeah. Like one brother dies and all that
Yeah.
shit. But it's a good action flick.
Yeah, it's a
It's
very
an
good
action
action
thriller.
Yeah.
I watched 310 to Yuma.
Oh, I've
that
seen
Western.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good
It's been
Western.
a long time since I've seen it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I was just in the mood for a Western, so I watched that one. And then I was actually going to watch, after that, hold on.
Bless you.
Shit.
Bless you.
Why do you always sneeze whenever you're down here?
I don't know. I think it's the basement. I think it makes me,
Probably
my
a little
allergies
dusty,
act
you know.
up.
It's a basement.
But anyway, I watched that, and then I was like, I'd really like to watch either The Hateful Eight or Django Unchained. And I was like, that's just too many Westerns in one day.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to, but I was like, I don't want everybody to just think that I'm obsessed with Westerns. So
Hateful Eight's still a good movie though.
I just didn't feel like it though. Because mostly I want to watch Django Unchained, but I didn't watch it.
I want to
but
watch
then,
that one movie with Pedro Pascal in it where he's got the whip and he's like some kind of assassin or something. He plays as Agent Whiskey. I don't know what it's called though.
Agent Whiskey
Drawing a complete blank.
sounds like a comedy.
It is.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Agent Whiskey. That sounds really. It's like it's recent. I bet that's a recent movie, isn't it?
I think so.
Anyway, I also watched. What else did I watch? I know there's more I watched. I can never fucking remember. I need to start writing them down again
So do I.
because I never remember everything that I watched. I know there was something else I watched. I started watching Alien versus Predator.
The Kingsman.
No,
Oh, The
Kingsman.
Kingsman, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good movie.
I want to watch it. I've never seen it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I put the Blu-ray in and I was gonna watch it, and then I realized I really don't want to watch this fucking movie right now. So I took it back out and
done
decided
now.
against it. And
What movie?
yeah, Alien versus Predator.
Oh yeah.
It's just I wasn't in the mood for it, so
I've
I
never
didn't-
seen it.
It's not a bad movie, but it's not something that you can like rewatch over and over. You have to be in a mood to watch it. Let's put it that
I
way.
think it's
Yeah.
one of those things that like I never really understood how they were a thing. So I never,
How they were
other
in
than
the
the
same
fact
universe.
that, other than the fact that they're like aliens or whatever. And like, so I just never got around to it.
It's not so. Alien and Predator aren't supposed to be canon to each other, and this is just one of. It's kind of like Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah,
how
no, I get
Yeah.
it.
they're-
I get
they're-
it.
It was just a versus movie that they wanted to do.
But I
because
had,
it was fun.
I guess I was more like into the Freddy and Jason thing, and I wasn't so into Alien and Predator. So
I mean,
wasn't-
I liked like in an Alien versus Predators. I liked how they integrated both of them because Predator is a hunter, right?
Mm.
So basically, what they did was they took the aliens and brought them onto Earth.
Yeah, I think you told me about
They're
that.
just
Yeah,
like-
I remember
They
asking.
Yeah,
used
just like,
humans
yeah.
to make it a hunt.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like a hunting ground.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember asking like how they bring them together. I didn't understand that.
And if
The way they did it was clever.
yeah,
It was smart.
Yeah.
The way they I don't think they could do it any other way than that.
no,
Yeah,
it
no,
really
I'm
wasn't.
not downing the movie. I'm just
Yeah.
saying like it was just
I think
because
I think it
wasn't
was
really
just the
into either.
execution of the movie itself is what people just didn't care for.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just wasn't really into either franchise enough to.
It must have done something right because they came out with a second one. So
Yeah, well,
and I liked both of them. They're just not super rewatchable.
Yeah.
you know. So
You can't just rewatch. Like I said, you just can't rewatch over and over. You have to be in
Right.
the mood for it.
the second one was more like aliens invade a town, predators are there to wipe them out, kind of thing. Humans get involved because obviously they're in the town. But other than anyway, I don't know that I watched anything else really. We watched an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and
Resident Alien.
we're watching an episode of Resident Alien today, and I think that's about it because I want to get into. There's more shows and stuff that I need to watch, and I just haven't got around to them yet.
No, I watched a movie. It was like a samurai western. I can't remember the name of it.
A samurai western.
Yeah, it was like a samurai. It started in Japan. He came to the U.S. during the Western times, and it was weird.
Was it very action? It kind of.
Yes.
It was also kind of. I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it in years. Because it came out probably back in like 06, 07.
Hey, he was just protecting
08.
a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll find it.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember the name of it because it's very artistic, kind of.
Yeah. Very.
It's kind of artistic. Honestly, if I'm thinking like I forgot about that movie, I wouldn't mind watching it again.
Yeah.
Anyway, if that's what everybody watched, let's go ahead and move on here. Let's get into our movie this week.
Let's talk about the movie.
Anyway, let's move on into our movie here.
Last Samurai.
No, let's just let Eric look it up. We're not just going to keep naming off
Sword of the
movies.
Stranger.
No,
You
we're
already
not
said
going to
that.
keep naming off movies. Let's just move on.
Okay. It's not the Hidden Blade.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, this week we watched Back to the Future 2. Fuck me. Karen, do you have a plot synopsis?
I do. Marty and Doc are at it again in this wacky sequel to the 1985 blockbuster as the time-traveling duo head to 2015 to nip some McFly family woes in the bud. But things go awry?
Yeah, all right.
Awry?
Ari?
I always do that with that word because it's spelled A-W-R-Y.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thanks to bully
Bully William.
Biff Tannen and a pesky sports almanac in a last-ditch attempt to set things straight, Marty finds himself bound for 1955 and face-to-face with his teenage parents again.
Did you see that?
1 hour and 45 minutes, rated PG. Michael J. Fox is Marty. And Marlene. And Marty Jr. Christopher Lloyd is Emmett Brown. Leah Thompson is Lorraine. Thomas F. Wilson is Biff and Griff. Elizabeth Shue is Jennifer. And that's as far as I'm going.
The Warrior's Way. That's what it was called.
What
The
was it?
Warrior's Way.
That was my next guess. But you cut me off, so.
Whatever. Shut up. All right, let's go around the table, see if anybody would recommend. Eric, would you watch and recommend?
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely recommend this movie. I mean, if you don't know the Back to the Future movies, you need to watch this, period.
Right.
Yes, I'll watch again eventually. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to watch it like tomorrow or anything, but
Why not?
because
Because I just fucking watched it.
yeah.
Karen, would you watch and recommend?
I've already watched it 4 times since I've watched it for this. No, I'm just kidding. Yes and yes, I watched it again. I like this movie.
I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it by myself. But if someone is like, hey, you want to watch Back to the Future? I'm gonna be like, yeah, I guess so. If I'm in the mood for it, anyways. But yeah, if someone doesn't know what see, just because I didn't watch it doesn't mean I didn't know what it was. Okay. Before, whenever I never watched Back to the Future, I still knew what Back to the Future was. I wasn't interested in watching it. You know?
Sure.
So if someone's never seen it, I'm like, hey, watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes and yes because
Yeah, that's what I meant.
if you're interested in watching any of them, you have to watch the second one. And yeah, it's definitely right. Like it's one of them. All 3 of these movies are movies that, as a human being, or especially as an American, they're must watches within your lifetime. Even if you only watch them once, you have to watch them.
I'd actually have to say that this is probably like the best franchise ever, just hands down, just because of the fact that it's a time traveling franchise, and there are so few
That do it so well.
well, so few plot holes in it, so few,
Right.
especially like in this one where you're going
I think
back
this
to
one
the
has
first
I think
one,
this one has
to
the
the
most plot
future,
holes.
in
like-
all kinds of places.
Oh, there's a
but-
plot hole that I'm going to bring up.
There's plot holes, and there's no way around that when you're
Right.
doing time traveling
Yeah.
movies. But as far as time traveling movies go, these are very good at not having them, I guess is what I'm saying.
They keep it very simple though too. They don't get
They do,
over explaining about it. You
but
know,
they
like-
almost have to in order to make 3 movies in a franchise like this and keep it without having those major plot holes
Yeah.
that most time traveling movies have. They'd almost have to.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on here and let's get into the plot.
Hole.
Do you want me to read the plot?
If you want.
I'm not gonna turn down the offer.
I didn't offer. You asked if you wanted to.
All right, so
Good.
before I forget the plot hole that I want to bring up. So you know how Biff takes the DeLorean, right, and then goes back in the past. When he comes back, don't you think his future would be changed because he did that?
It was.
His future wasn't,
Yeah, it
because he
was.
can't. No, Biff's future was not changed when he came back to
So
the future.
technically, what happened was,
He came back to the future with Emmett
Yeah,
Brown
but-
and
Just like Marty.
oh, here we go. Let's get into some time travel talk.
Just like Marty. And he starts to disappear. He's there for a minute, but you notice when he came back how much pain he was in?
he was having a heart
disappearing.
attack.
He was disappearing.
He wasn't disappearing.
I
He was
thought it
having
was
a heart
was
attack.
disappearing.
I
It's
thought it was
just
because
not-
he hit himself with the cane in the
He
car.
did, but he didn't hit himself that hard. It's in trivia. I've always wondered that myself. Why he didn't hit himself that hard? Why is he in so much pain? He was disappearing.
But the way
That
time
Biff no
travel-
longer exists.
But the way time travel works is he went back in the past to change the future. So when he came back to the future, his future would be changed.
That's why he was
completely.
disappearing.
No, his future would not be. He would not go back to that future. He would go to the future that he just made.
No, just like Doc said.
just like Doc said when they went back to the Paragon, when he's talking about, well, if we go back back to the future from this present to the future, it will be the future of this present.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are overcomplicating
Because-
this.
He would change.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
He would change the future.
Mhm.
So if Biff changed the past, the future he would go to would be the new future.
No,
No,
because he
it would
went
be
back to the original
His
past.
own timeline.
He went back to the original past, gave himself the book, and then left from the original past to the original future.
Why would he? He would
That
not
was still
go
the
to
origi-
the original future because he changed the past.
Not yet.
He gave he gave
It-
the book
yeah,
to
But
but
he's
Biff.
it
still
didn't
he's still
change
left
yet.
from the original past. It,
It
hadn't
didn't-
been changed yet because he just gave the kid the book. He hadn't done anything with it yet.
Well, obviously he hasn't done anything with it because
What?
he just gave him the book. But
It's like I said, if you overthink this movie, you're going to find plot holes. Same with all three of them are this
But
way.
there is no.
But the
But
future
that
would be
isn't a plot
changed.
hole.
I mean, if you overthink it, it could be a plot hole. If you overthink it.
that's not
You're
overthinking.
not
You're
overthinking
changing the
it.
past from
That's
the time
literally
he
not a
goes,
He
plot hole.
went
he goes
back-
back.
he-
If he
unless-
goes back, if you go back in the past far enough, and it's not happened
If-
yet,
okay,
how can
if
it?
he, this is where it's at. If he would come back to the exact same time that he took the DeLorean, then I could understand that. But he shows up at nighttime after the fact of him giving
It's not
the
about
book
when
away.
he came back. He gave himself the book,
Changing the past,
But
changing
he-
the
changing
past,
the future.
but he hasn't done anything with the book yet. When he leaves,
He left.
he
before
hasn't
his
changed
younger
anything
self
yet.
could
When the
do
guy
anything.
leaves, when he leaves from that past, nothing has changed. He's
Pop
still
off,
leaving from
Karen.
the original past.
So when you guys get a divorce, who are we going to go with?
That's gross.
I'm just. Mom and Dad are fighting.
I'm not fighting. I want to drop it, but he keeps going on and on and on.
I'm listening, dude. I'm
I'm
in.
serious.
I'm
Like
in.
that. I don't know how else to explain it. He hasn't done anything with the book in that past.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And you're still in that reality.
Well,
unless he does
I think
something
I know
with
what
the
he's
book.
saying too, because he's like technically he went into the future, back into the future. So I
From
get where
the
you're coming
past.
from.
I
the
do.
past.
I understand that too. But
So-
but if you go back far enough in the past, that's going to be at a point where something hasn't changed yet, right?
Right, but what he's saying though is because he went back into the future, he already he has the book. So everything that would have happened has happened.
Which is why he's starting to disappear.
Right. Okay.
And if they
but-
had left that in there, it would have
I'd
made
say
more
they didn't
sense.
explain
yeah,
that
but
in
they
the
didn't
movie.
explain that.
Correct.
So there's a
I
plot
agree.
hole.
I agree. And when
Plot hole.
I agree with that part. But what you were saying about him going back to the past, not being able to come back, he still could have come back. But what I'm saying
I
is,
still don't.
I
agree
don't
with that.
understand.
I get what you're saying too, because like whenever Marty went back into the past and then had to go back into the future, and everything in the future had changed before, he didn't have to disappear or anything like that. He just went back into the future, and bam, it was all done. Like everything had already changed.
I don't know how to make it. I don't know how.
I
to
get what
explain
I know
it.
what you're saying.
any
I get what you guys are
better
both
than-
saying. I get why he's confused, and I get why you understand. So anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
Maybe they'll explain it in trivia. Who knows? Anyway, Madison's going to read the movie, and we'll get into some things here. Because I also have some problems with this movie. not time travel stuff, but I have problems of my own.
I don't think you can have problems with the time travel stuff because
You really, I mean,
How?
what's the point?
yeah, it's best not to overthink time travel.
If you're gonna watch a time travel movie, you got to let that stuff go.
You really do.
What?
I couldn't.
237, 237.
Oh yeah.
But that was one thing that always bothered me watching this movie growing up. When he hit himself with the cane, and like I can imagine like hitting yourself with the cane and then getting out, I'm like, oh, But then like you see him continuing to be like in pain, and I'm like, why is he in so much pain? He just literally hit himself with the cane for like a second.
I just thought maybe he was overacting.
I just thought he was having a heart attack.
It's just so weird that they left that in there, other than the oof. But then they show him still having so much pain later, but then they didn't show why,
Right.
Did they ever show it in the third one?
No.
No.
You wouldn't know unless
third one is,
I was
like,
reading
mostly
trivia, and that's
is-
how I found
The
out.
third one is just mostly in the West.
Yeah,
So,
Gotcha.
which is why the third one is my favorite.
I like this one.
The third one is my favorite. I love the third one. So,
All right, Back to the Future 2. The film. Give me a sec. The film begins with 1985 Doc Brown coming back from 2015 and telling Marty he needs him to go to 30 years in the future to fix a problem with his kids. Which is how part 1 ends.
I don't like this. So, this is my main issue with this movie. The beginning of this movie is them. He picks up both
Marty and
Marty and Jennifer. Says it's your kids, and he takes them into the future, and then automatically he puts Jennifer to sleep.
yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, I had to bring her. She saw the time machine, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that right there is a cop-out. That's just a way for them to say, we want to put her in this one, but we don't really know what to do with her because we couldn't bring the original actress back, blah, blah, blah.
Could have just
That's
knocked
what
her
it
out before you
seemed
even
like to
took
me.
her.
That's what it felt like. And
No,
also,
I can totally get that. Yeah.
but also, my biggest issue with it is it's a character flaw on Doc Brown. Doc Brown would not interfere with time.
No.
Even if it had something to do with Marty's kids.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care. He's a scientist. He's not gonna try. He's not gonna.
He doesn't want to alter
He's
the
not gonna
change.
try to alter time or anything, or even because he doesn't know if Marty comes into contact with his future self, what could happen. It could. He said literally, it could destroy the universe.
Yep.
Yes. Then why would you risk it for a couple of kids who end up in jail?
Yep.
Especially Marty's dumbass kid, who is obviously a moron.
Mhm.
They play no significant role other than to set up the series of events that are happening so that they can move on with this franchise. That's all. They're a plot device for about 20 minutes. And from there, they have nothing to do with the rest of the second one or anything to do with the third one. That's my biggest issue. That's why the second one isn't my favorite and why it's my least favorite, because the whole first 30 minutes of this movie is literally just setting up the other like the rest of this movie and the next movie, and it's just a plot device. And I think the future looks like, I mean, it looks okay, but it irritates me in ways. Probably because it's 2024 now, but there's things about it I don't
Where's
like.
my flying card, damn it?
But I think my biggest issue with it is Doc Brown would not do that.
Yeah.
He would not do that.
The whole thing at the end with Jennifer getting in the car, like when he says, bring Jennifer, it involves her too, blah blah blah. They weren't supposed to make any sequels.
I know. I knew that.
So her being in the car was just because that's how they finished.
That's how they finished I
Yeah.
knew that.
So when they went to make the second one,
The original girl
wanted-
didn't return.
that had nothing to do with it.
And also, I guarantee you they're like, what do we do with this girl?
They wanted to keep the same formula, it just being about Doc Brown and Marty. And because
Which is understandable.
because they
Because
had
they had chemistry, and
yeah, and
bringing it in a
because
third person would really
and
hinder
because
that.
they had the girl in the car at the end of the last one, they had to keep it that way, so they had to figure out a way to get rid of Jennifer.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Don't get me wrong, movie is not bad. I'm not bashing on this movie. I think it's a great movie. I just didn't like that. I didn't like the Doc Brown thing. I thought it was a little ridiculous because he is a scientist. At the end of the day, he's a scientist. He's not going to go changing anything. Like he said this several times. Don't do anything to alter the future or the past or anything. He said that several times. In the first one, throughout the second and third one, it's all he thinks about is not messing with time. But in this, he's like, We got to go back to the future, Marty, to save your kids. It's your kids. They're idiots, pretty much. And he wouldn't do that. He just wouldn't do that. Maybe he would go back and be like, listen, there's a point in time where you're going to need to intervene with your kids.
You have to watch your kids a little bit.
Watch your kids a little better or whatever, like warn him. But he's not going to take him back into the future or take him into the future
to alter.
to alter the timeline. He would not do that. That's just, I feel like that's out of character for him. And it really bothers me.
It would make more sense for them to have gone back and maybe keep Marty from getting into that accident where he fucked up his hand and couldn't continue his music career. Or maybe keep him from doing what he did with Needles and losing his job. Those things are a little bit more significant to their lives.
Right, and they don't get into the whole Needles thing until the third one. Because, they talk about it in this one, but they don't address it until the third one.
No, Needles.
I know.
He loses his job.
Yeah, you mean in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason
I thought
why
you meant with the band thing and him wrecking the car.
Well, the reason why he loses his job is because he called him chicken, made him want to do it, and then when they come back to do the race at the end of the second movie, Needles calls him chicken, and he decides that it's just a name, and he doesn't race him.
Right.
So that and
Spoiler
at the end,
alert.
You've never seen it? Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that it would have made more sense that if they would have come back and done something about those things. The only thing I can say is that maybe it had something more to do with keeping Marty Jr. out of jail and putting Griff in jail because instead of, if Marty Jr.'s in jail and Griff is out, then, the wrong person's not in jail. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm spitballing. It's not a very good answer. I'm not going to argue with you about that being weak. Just that what they wanted to do with this was create this sort of past, future, past, where they're going all over the place.
And I also,
he didn't want anything to do with future. He didn't want to do anything in the future because you're always going to get it wrong. Yeah. And he wanted nothing to do with that. But he also had this really great idea for future, past, all over the place as far as them traveling. Which, in my opinion, really makes for a cool movie.
It does. Because in the second one, this is where you get the future, the past, the present.
1985 and
exactly. You go 30 years in the past, 30 years in the future, and it really makes sense why he'd want to do that.
Yeah, and you don't spend enough time in the future. I mean, I get I
didn't want to spend any more time in the future.
No, and I think they did that on purpose because you see just enough to be like, oh, that's kind of cool, but you don't see enough for you don't stay in the future long enough to really make a huge difference, I guess, as far as
my favorite aspect of this entire movie was them going back into the present day in the altered timeline.
I love the altered timeline part.
So the altered timeline part really was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Biff taking over and Lorraine being his wife and the dad being dead and all these things, that whole thing and how dangerous time travel, it shows how dangerous it could be.
Yeah.
So
when the wrong thing gets into the wrong person's hands.
Exactly.
Because, Biff up until this point is just more like a nuisance.
Yeah.
It's more like, oh God, this guy.
But here he's
here you give him money and power and he's dangerous.
He's dangerous. He could kill. He tried to kill Marty and everything. Mm-hmm. Did kill his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still want me to read that?
Yeah. Sorry, just keep going.
I mean, we're already pretty much just talking about the movie. Let's just do it.
Marty and Jennifer then travel to 2015 with Doc. That's where we're at, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want the sports almanac.
Me too. I mean, what's wrong with making a few bucks, man?
I mean, it wouldn't have done anything for us now because we're way past that time.
I get that, but
if I could have got it back when I was younger, hell yeah.
Yeah, from 1995. 95.
Just 5 years. Just give me 5 years of it.
Or something, yeah. Just anything to make me a little richer, you know?
Even though I wouldn't have been able to.
I was going to say, none of us would have been able to use it.
To give it
you have to be 21 to gamble.
Well, true.
Doc Brown is forced to knock Jennifer out with a sleep inducer device due to her wanting to know too much about her future because she begins asking too many questions about it. After landing in Hill Valley, Marty and Doc leave her in an alley, expecting her to remain unconscious while they attend to the crisis involving Marty's children. Doc explains that Martin McFly Jr., Marty's and Jennifer's son, is about to be approached by Griff Tannen, Biff's grandson, and his gang, who will offer him the chance to take part in a robbery. This event happening leads to the ruin of the entire McFly family. Marty impersonates his future son.
What?
It leads to the ruin of the entire McFly family. I remember him saying that now.
What does?
Marty Jr. getting arrested.
Yeah, I know, because they say that
That's why.
Shortly after he goes to jail, the sister tries to break him out, and she also goes to jail.
Which was just Marty dressed up and
causes Jennifer to... Yeah, it's a whole thing. So I guess that's why.
I guess, but it seems a little excessive, I guess.
What would you do for your kids?
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, maybe warn him, like, hey, on this day, on this date, blah, 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 you know, your son's going to do this. Make sure he doesn't do this because of this reason, blah, blah,
Maybe
blah.
keep him home that day.
Yeah, keep him home that day, whatever, you know what I mean? But, like, to go forward in time, like I said, with Doc...
Of course, maybe if you keep him home that day, it doesn't change anything. It just moves it to a different date.
Maybe, but it's still going to alter the timeline somehow. Also, remember how much of a stickler he was about the letter in the first one? Like, he freaked out about the letter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just...
I'm not arguing you on with you on it.
It's just...
Not at all.
Yeah.
We change the rules all the time with this movie.
Marty impersonates his future son and tells Griff he will not join the robbery. However, his self-control crumbles when Griff calls him chicken. The resulting confrontation leads to a hoverboard chase that causes Griff and his thugs to damage the glass facade
How did they not? I mean,
of the nearby courthouse.
They went to jail, correct? Yeah, they went to jail. But, like, why would they think that was a good idea to begin with?
I don't know.
They just damaged, like, they just pretty much destroyed half of, like, the downtown area.
I did like how the continuity continued with the courthouse. There was that big chunk of the ledge still missing.
Yeah.
Griff and his gang are arrested on an entirely different charge. Marty Jr.'s innocence has been assured without his knowledge, and the planned robbery never occurs. Before reuniting with Doc, Marty notices a sports almanac displayed in an antique store window, which lists sports statistics from 1950 to 2000. He buys it, intending to take the book back to 1985 and use the data within for financial gain. When Doc discovers the almanac, and sternly tells Marty that the purpose of inventing this time machine was for scientific investigation, not to win at gambling, and pitches the almanac thingy into a garbage can. Meanwhile, Jennifer, still tranquilized, is found by the police, who mistake her for her future self after thumbprint identification.
45? She looks pretty good for 45.
And take her to her future home, waking her up just as they arrive. Confused, she hides in a closet, not seeing Marlene McFly, Marty's and Jennifer's daughter, letting George and Lorraine in for dinner. She also witnesses a middle-aged Marty being fired from his job after his Japanese boss catches him cooperating in an illegal scheme that is his immediate boss and longtime friend. Douglas Needles goads... What?
Goads.
Yeah.
Flea. It's Flea.
Him into joining. And again, by taunting him that he is too chicken to try it. Traveling to the house, Doc leaves Marty with the DeLorean after Jennifer sneaks out of the house.
So the part where the mom and dad show up, whenever Lorraine and George show up at the house, and he's in the thing upside down, and he's got the prosthetics on. It's like they did a really good job of concealing that wasn't.
They did.
Uh,
Hence the big lawsuit.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, they also use like footage from the first movie and things. I'm sure that he would still have to be compensated for that too somehow.
They didn't have to before that lawsuit.
Well, I'm saying like you would think that he would have been though. So, but yeah, just like the way that they did that was really clever because they're like, well, if we put the prosthetics on him and turn him upside down, maybe he won't look, so much.
It looked like him though. They did a damn
He doesn't
good
do
job.
a lot of talking or anything.
No.
So George, the guy who played George McFly in the first one, which was Marty's dad,
Right.
didn't return for the second one
Or the third.
or the third one because he asked for more money and they didn't want to pay it.
Actually, he kind of, it started with the first one. He hated that they changed the ending and made it look like the McFlys were happy with money instead of just being happy as a family or some shit like that. Because I guess the original ending was more similar to that. Like they had money, but they didn't flaunt it. Like that truck wasn't a thing or something. I don't know. So he didn't like that they changed the original ending. And he said he would come back if... This is his side of the story. He would come back if he had a salary closer to Leah Thompson and Michael J. Fox. And that
only sounds fair, though.
And he had a say in the ending of the movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. Like, you're not a writer, dude. You're an actor.
Well, apparently there was negotiations going back and forth, and then this is Zemeckis' side of the story. That there was negotiations and that he wanted more than what they wanted. And he wasn't willing to do that. And so he just took George's side of the story, like cut it way down, and they did what they did.
So
there's two sides to every story, and
right.
the truth is somewhere in the middle.
I think that him asking for more money sounds fair. It's only right that they're paying these other two actors.
Yeah, they should be tiered. I mean, they should be.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that
Marty should be a little higher.
Michael J. Fox should have definitely been making him and Christopher Lloyd definitely should be making more money. They're the stars of the show.
Yeah.
Whereas like Leah Thompson, even in this movie, did not have a lot to do.
No.
So I mean, yeah, in the first one she did.
I was about to say in the first one she had more role than he did. This one she doesn't have more role. Well,
he had more of a role than she did in the first one, and like George McFly was more prominent in the first one than she was, because it was him and Marty throughout a lot of the movie and things like that. But like in this one, maybe the story would have been different if they had brought him in to play the character. But like in this one, Leah Thompson had a little bit more than, like, obviously had more to do than George McFly.
Yeah.
But only because she was in 1985, you know what I mean? Whereas if, I don't know, I'm sure they would have changed things around if they would have brought him in. But either way, she was in this movie way less than she was in the first one.
Yeah.
So I don't like raising her salary anymore is ridiculous to me.
I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know who any of the people are that you're talking about. I know Marty's dad and Marty's mom. I don't know those names.
That's basically who we're talking about.
That's who we're talking about.
Yeah, Leah Thompson's Marty's mom, and
Leah Thompson. She's who we talked about today.
Crispin Glover is the guy who plays George McFly.
Dad.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. You done?
Yeah.
Sweet. I gotta make sure. Along the way, she encounters her older self, who has just arrived home, with the shock causing both women to pass out.
That's like my favorite part in this movie.
It is pretty funny.
When they see each other, I'm old, I'm young at the same time. It's hilarious to me.
You would think that Leah Thompson, Jennifer would remember from the past that she went into the future.
But it was
currently
happening.
But he set it up in such a way to make her think it was like a dream or something. But you'd think the old version of her would be like, it wasn't a dream,
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that does make sense.
Maybe she just doesn't remember.
It was
that.
kind of like a fever dream to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she did end up passing
Instead of
out.
saying I'm young, it wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
She was literally
But of
only
course,
awake
the older
long
version
enough.
isn't going to be able to tell the younger version of her.
Yeah,
because she'll be
like
gone by
literally,
then.
like the younger like she's only awake in the future for her long enough to go.
Bursts.
Yeah, in bursts from her like to in the house pretty much,
Mhm.
and then next
And
thing you know
those
she's
bursts
back.
are so unbelievable.
Yeah, next thing you
that-
know she's back in 1985.
I'm just saying, like, instead of her saying I'm young and then passing out, she says it wasn't a dream and then passes
Does
out.
in the third one? Does it explain why there's bars on her windows?
They explain that in this one. He says that, oh, I don't remember there being bars on the windows. It's because
Yeah.
of the future of 1985, how it had become because Biff got the almanac and
Made everything.
made
bad.
everything terrible, pretty much to run the town into the ground.
Oh, I thought
and-
that maybe it was like a home thing. You know how
Yeah,
like
'cause remember-
in Harry Potter.
Marty went into his house and he
Yeah,
was in that.
and it wasn't his
it
house.
wasn't
anymore.
his house
It
anymore.
was because
Yeah.
Biff had taken over everything.
I
and-
mean, like I thought it was like a home situation that there was bars on the window because in Harry Potter they put bars on his windows because they don't want him to. Go
it
to
is, but
wizarding school.
but the reason why those bars are there are because of
Keeping
how
it-
1985 turned out because Biff got a hold of the almanac and pretty much ran the town into the ground, and why the crime rate is so high and blah blah blah. That's why they had bars on the windows.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, like I noticed that as soon as like they pull into the driveway,
Yeah, I
and drop her
did
off,
too.
and there's like a bashed car in the driveway and bars on the windows. It's like,
You'd think that driving around town they would have seen some
You
stuff
would
that
think
would have
they'd
made them
seen-
go like,
Why
Just
does everything
pulling
look
into
so
the
shitty?
neighborhood when they.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like
the-
there's like fires everywhere, gunshots.
yeah, there's
like, how do
graffiti
you,
all
like,
over everything.
I'd be
now,
like,
and-
something doesn't seem right.
especially
we-
Doc being the
we-
observative scientist. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
messed
well,
up
he's
somewhere,
kind of
guys.
an absent-minded scientist.
he is, yeah, I guess.
I could forgive his.
It makes me wonder how he's even such a good scientist.
because he's focused on the science. He's not so much focused on.
Your surroundings.
Yeah, but
going
you would
on
think
around.
coming back from the future or whatever, or any time travel he does, he'd be a little more concerned with like, did we fuck anything up? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You'd think.
That's how I feel. Like,
So, unable to carry her himself, Doc calls Marty for help, leaving the DeLorean unguarded. While Doc and Marty rescue Jennifer, Biff, now 78, having overheard Doc and Marty talking about time travel about the folly and hazards of using it to win at gambling in the alley earlier from behind a door, recovers the discarded sports almanac. Steals the DeLorean and travels back in time to give it to his younger self.
my only question is, how the fuck does he know how to operate that DeLorean?
That's what
Or
I
that
thought. I
time
thought
machine?
he wouldn't be able to do it. I thought he was gonna break it or something.
Like, how does he know how to operate that time machine? And not to mention, go back to 1955.
Doesn't seem hard. Time you want to. You're in. Time you want to go.
Yeah, but Biff is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
It doesn't
Maybe
seem
it's
hard.
foolproof.
Yeah, maybe it's just dumbass proof.
I mean, the instructions are right there on the circuits.
True.
All right.
Current time.
Well,
Destination.
so like even the doc gets back in the car and says the fact that he went back to this exact date is unbelievable. I'm like, it is unbelievable. That's funny that he went back to the exact same date that you guys went back to. He said, now either it's a weird coincidence or like an extremely great coincidence. I was thinking like if they would have just said maybe he just hit like dates you've been to or like past dates or whatever, and he saw like November 12th, 1955. Like, all right, we'll go there. You know, and he like it was in like a saved memory or whatever within the car where he just clicked it on, and that's where it's like it said that they had gone prior.
Or, and I'm just spitballing here.
Are
It
you
was-
though? Because you sound awfully confident about it.
No. Or it was the day that he became a loser, and he didn't want to be a loser.
Maybe.
Or
The day that, yeah.
it was the day that the woman that he, was obsessed with told him that he wouldn't marry or she wouldn't marry him for $1 million.
True.
Pretty significant.
I guess it is a significant.
That's why
date
she
to
was
him.
confident. It's because she's probably right.
I'm a loner, Donnie. A rebel.
I forgot about that button. That scared me.
When he said that, it's like, dude, you cannot tell me you're that stupid. Like, you're a scientist. That date's significant to you guys. Why
But
wouldn't
he-
it be significant to him?
But he doesn't know. I don't think he would see it that way. Doc Brown, like you said, he's kind of
yeah.
oblivious.
Yeah,
Up
that's
in the
true,
air.
I guess, yeah. But yeah, to me, I mean, That's pretty significant for Biff. That's
I
probably
guess it would be very.
that is
significant,
the day his whole life.
Yeah, did a 180.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so he returns the car just before Marty and Doc return to leave for their own time. Upon arrival in 1985, Marty and Doc Brown find that Hill Valley has become a dilapidated,
Yep.
crime-ridden slum lorded over by a middle-aged Biff, who is now immeasurably rich, powerful, and corrupt thanks to the decades of successful sports betting. The proceeds of which he invested in toxic waste dumps, oil, and to purchase the Hill Valley Courthouse and convert it into a luxury hotel and casino, not to mention assisting Richard Nixon in his bid for a 5th term as president. Biff has also married Marty's widowed mother, Lorraine, after secretly killing her husband, George. Doc deduces the middle-aged Biff, that the middle-aged Biff must have given the thing to his younger self some point in the past, also showing Marty that he has been committed to an insane asylum to avoid his horrible fate. Marty and Doc now have to go back to the very day old Biff gave his younger 1955 self the almanac and take it back. Marty confronts Biff and finds out that he received the almanac thing on November 12th.
Almond thing.
Alma thing.
The almond thing.
November 12th, 1955.
That's just lazy reading. Is that how you read Lord of the Rings too?
No, I can't. Almanac.
Sarah.
Like
whatever.
Like almond.
Knack.
Almanac.
No, Saruman, but like maniac.
It's like almond. Almanac.
Just for show.
Almond Mac.
Almond Mac. Instead of an Apple Mac.
Almanac.
Get it? Computer.
Got it.
Read the fucking thing.
The fucking thing.
That's a great joke. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, whatever.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I know I am, but what do you mean? Is that how you feel about that? Okay. The date on which the Back to the Future Part 1 events were set.
My bad. I accidentally did that one.
What cookie, Eric?
I
Are
have
you
no
hiding
idea.
food over there?
I have no food.
Are you sure?
I got gum.
I'm
Got any
hungry.
ice?
No, I wish I did. Some crunching noises.
I don't care. I know Karen's got food. I can smell it.
Right there.
Do you like
She's
some
got
gummy
fucking
clusters?
candy.
That's
dude.
got nerds.
No, I'm okay. Thank you, though.
I got water.
Do you like some gummy
I'll take
clusters?
Just one.
Give him 2 so he can give the
What are
second
they?
one to me.
Gummy clusters.
Interesting.
Throw it.
Really?
Uh-huh. I was trying so hard not to point. I know you did not just do that on this dirty, nasty basement floor.
5-second rule.
No.
Dad rule.
Give her one.
You still missing. We're 2 feet apart.
I know, it's crazy. That's a big fucking mouth.
Hold on.
You
hold
missed.
on. I wasn't ready. I was busy laughing. Hold on. Don't miss.
Okay. I missed. I'm so scared.
Wear out.
I don't even know where that one went. It's gone.
Spider got it now.
Spider's got it now. It's a
yeah.
twofer.
It's a twofer.
Yeah.
No, it's a one for.
Oh, you're a jerk. He even gave me the
Just eat the
smaller one too.
fucking thing.
No. I'm determined now. I'd move the mic.
Just read the fucking movie.
I got a sweet.
Uh-oh.
What?
I was just making sure the thing didn't spike up.
What
Oh,
thing?
no, we're good. Just
Oh,
read.
no, I
read,
grabbed
read.
it.
You,
From right
you
here.
moved it, so I was just make sure.
You scared me.
I thought it stopped recording. That's what I thought. Okay. Biff then intends to murder Marty with a gun, telling him that it's the same gun he used to kill George, as he now knows too much. Marty again is saved by Doc when Doc knocks out Biff with the DeLorean's gull wing door. Yeah, after he chases him to the top of the roof.
That was such a smooth scene, too.
Yeah.
He just jumps off and he's like,
huh.
I
Yeah,
did it.
shoot him.
I'm a douche.
He's like, I didn't even have to do anything this time. Marty and Doc travel back to 1955 to prevent Biff from getting the almanac.
Good job.
Almanac.
Marty goes through a long and complicated series of events involving his multiple attempts to recover the almanac.
She says it. She sounds like a robot or something. The almanac.
Almanac.
All the while making sure that he does not interfere with past events again and does not undo all that he had previously done in 1955 in the first film to set his parents up with each other. After revisiting the events of the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, he eventually manages to steal the book from 1955, Biff, with the help of Doc in the flying DeLorean, and burns it. Restoring history to its proper course, as evidenced by the changes in the newspaper from 1985, which now reads George McFly honored rather than George McFly murdered, and Emmett Brown commended. I thought it was honored.
It does become honored. Or no, his dad's honored and his
Doc Brown is commended.
commended.
Oh, instead of Emmett Brown committed.
Yeah, instead of being committed, he's commended.
Instead of committed, it's commended. That's great. Okay, see, Dad, if the newspaper ever says Madison Kramer committed, I'm gonna need you to take a white it out, and then put commended over it, okay?
Well,
You're
the weird
killing
thing
me,
is
Smalls.
nobody reads the fucking newspaper anymore anyway.
So,
I don't think you have to worry about that.
okay, well then I need you to hack into those systems and change it to commended.
I'll do that just for you, Madison.
Just leave the picture there, because I'm gonna be real proud.
In a straight jacket.
Straight jacket and all.
My grippy
She
socks.
commended.
Commended.
Finally gonna get my special little blue pair of grippy socks.
I don't think they'll let you pick the color.
But they're always blue.
Oh.
I've seen yellow ones.
We don't talk about those ones. I don't want to be committed there.
Okay.
They do, like, experiments on those people. I don't want to be experimented on. Okay,
She
as
really
do-
gets off subject a lot.
I get
Yeah,
off
left
subject.
field.
So it's squirrel.
Mi scusi.
Well, wait. I'm gonna need you back up.
I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
I have no words for you right now. I thought we were friends.
There's one for that one too.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So
Hey.
mean.
He tried to have mercy on my soul, but then he turned away, okay? Got anything for that?
All right, come on, just read the.
There's plenty.
Okay. As Doc fights the controls while attempting to land the DeLorean during the storm to pick Marty up, the car is struck by lightning, causing it to disappear. The time travel the capability having been triggered by the lightning, a few minutes later, a Western Union delivery man appears with a letter, which he explains was 70 years ago with the explicit instructions that it be delivered to Marty at this exact location at this exact minute, November 12th, 1955. Marty opens the letter, which is from Doc explaining that he is not living happily in 1885. Knowing he has only one source of help, Marty runs to the clock tower to find Doc's younger self, just as lightning strikes to send the previous film's Marty back to the future. The shock of suddenly seeing the new Marty, whom he thought he had just sent back in 1985, causes Doc to faint. The film ends as Marty tries to revive Doc. There's a little section called Paradox.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. When Doc takes Marty and Jennifer out of 1985 and brings them to the future, Marty and Jennifer from the future couldn't possibly exist since their disappearance from 1985 instantaneously erased their future. This rather large plot hole was admitted by writers Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale as something they had noticed while filming. They decided to leave it, however, since they had already set up Marty and Jennifer to meet their future kids by having Doc say, "Something's got to be done about your kids," at the end of the first movie. Having them travel to the future only to find out they didn't exist would have been a bigger disappointment to the audience. Although they could still exist in the future, having already left the present, as long as they return to the present.
See?
Karen's just like, I'm gonna shake my head and not say a word.
Karen's like,
She wants to, though. You can
No.
see it on her face.
No, I don't. I'm not going there anymore.
Alright, that's the
This
end
is
of
why
that.
they're brother and sister.
I win.
Yep.
Yeah. Sure, you win. All right. Anyway, God damn. Does anybody have any notes on this, or do we pretty much cover everything as we went? Or
I went over my time travel.
I like how they got rid of lawyers.
I did
Yeah.
hear that. Yeah.
That was hilarious
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, they got rid of lawyers.
Court
That the
hearing.
law works swiftly now that lawyers were abolished. I
Yeah.
think was what he said.
I was framed.
That was funny to me.
Yeah, they were prosecuted and everything in like
Right
a
then
matter
and there.
of minutes. Yeah.
They kept talking about their
2
neighborhood
hours.
being bad, but you didn't really notice it until like you saw like the sign where they'd done like the graffiti. But the houses and stuff didn't look bad.
Well,
I did
we're already
think,
talking
like-
about the future, so future bad may not look that bad.
I guess it's just like they try to set
Oh,
it up
the
like this.
neighborhood?
Yeah, like they try to set up like this bad neighborhood, but unless they say it out
It just
loud,
looked unkempt.
yeah, like unless they say it out loud, I'm not noticing it.
Yeah.
Other than the graffiti on the sign.
See, I didn't really notice it. Like, other than like, I don't know, the hedges weren't trimmed and some people need to mow the
Oh,
grass.
no.
Like, well, in richer neighborhoods, that shit is kept up on. But in this case, there was literally nobody on the streets or anything like that. You think
No.
it was a bad neighborhood? There'd be people running the streets and shit. You know what I
see
mean?
like homeless people or
Yeah, or
something. Like
anything, you know?
anything.
Yeah.
Like yeah. I thought that was weird. When Marty said "son of a bitch stole my idea," that was his first reaction. He's not worried about any other horrible things that is going on in 1985. Or his dad getting murdered.
I think that
He's,
everybody.
son of a bitch stole
I
my
really-
idea.
So I believe that in these movies, we're dealing with some of the most arrogant and selfish people in movie history.
Mm.
Because not only Marty's a very selfish person, for the most part.
Well, he's 17 though. You know what I
right?
mean? Like
Yeah, but so is Doc Brown. He's a very selfish. Which Biff is supposed to be selfish.
yeah.
But then there's like Leah Thompson's character, who is also quite selfish. Even in the first one, like
I would say more so in the first one. You notice it. You don't see it so much. See her very much in this one, but you see her as a teenager being kind of selfish, and then like in the before they get wealthy and all that, like she's drinking all the time, and she's always on her kids' butts about stuff that they're just being kids. You know what I mean? Like normal kid behavior, and she's on their butts about it all the time. I thought I didn't really care for Lorraine until the end in the first one.
right, yeah. Yeah, and as for that whole thing about them being like in the first one, how you said that he didn't like the ending, how money made them happy. That's bullshit. Because what made them happy was for one, a man of a house really can. A man and a woman of a house can really change the mood of a home. And in George's case, he wasn't happy because he was pretty much still doing all that work for Biff and being pushed around. And they weren't making a lot of money, so it's probably hard on the house, hard on bills, which can be stressful.
I would say, for me, the bigger argument that I would make to Crispin Glover would be they set it up when he was a teenager. They
Yeah.
set it up for him right there that he wanted to be an author. His character wanted to be an author. So him becoming a successful author, it doesn't change anything about their characters.
No, not really.
It just
it's
sets
funny
him
because,
up for
like,
what he wanted to be.
Well, not to mention, so another thing that really struck me was Lorraine ended up marrying a confident man. So instead of being this like weak man that's being pushed around, she married a confident man, which is what became of him after he punched Biff in the face.
Mm-hmm.
He became more confident in himself, and that made him more sure of himself, and it made him probably a better person for her to be around and to love and things like that, you know, easier for her.
Yeah.
You know, because not only was he confident in himself, but he was able to be confident for her too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that to say that about a character that, oh, well, he doesn't, you know, they're only happy because of the money. It's like, now hold on a minute. No, he's happy because, for one, his career, his confidence, and the fact that he's got a loving wife who returns that confidence in tenfold. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, I think
feel like
that's how you're happier. Yes, the money helps, but
yeah. Well, they had already set all that up, though. They set all that up for George in his teenage years, with the wanting to be an author and all that. So his happiness, I would see, would be more based on him getting to do what he wanted to do,
right.
what he had always wanted to do. I mean, and if you get to do what you always wanted to do, and you got the girl of your dreams, you know, by defending her, I mean, hell, you just won the jackpot, you know, in life. So, I mean, why wouldn't you be happy?
Right.
I don't see the money being really the big thing there.
I just thought it was kind of, Crispin Glover, I've heard he can be kind of difficult.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
So,
but you know, speaking of the money, this would be to me like the bigger plot hole, I guess. Okay, so if he was a successful author towards the end of the movie, and they even say local author killed, murdered, whatever, that would stand to say that when George was murdered, he had some money. At least enough for Lorraine to take her kids and move and get far away.
I
Why
think
wouldn't she
Lorraine
do
is
that?
one of the weakest characters
She had
in
to
this
have
franchise
been.
because she also, so she's a dependent person. She depends.
She would have had to have.
She has, so, and she saw Biff as, well, he's got money, you know, and he can
But
take
see,
care of us.
that doesn't make sense though from who she was as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
She was very like, you know, don't touch me, don't, you know what I mean? Like she knew what
Things
she
change
wanted.
when you have kids, though.
I guess, but she would have had money from George.
True, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. George passed away. You know, he would have had money
from book sales,
from the book sales and stuff, and money coming in because books would continue to sell.
Stuff, yeah.
So, like, take your kids and run.
Yeah, she could have.
That her having to marry Biff doesn't really make a lot of sense.
It doesn't. I agree. It doesn't make much sense, but
that's a glaring plot hole because it has nothing to do with the time travel to me.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I guess it would be. It's kind of weak on her character, so.
And it doesn't fit with who she was.
Who she was
prior to marrying George, and it further wouldn't fit with who she would have stayed or even become a stronger woman, staying married to George with his success.
Right. I don't know. What do you think? Tell us in the comments below.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that it? Is that
yes, that's all I got.
Anybody? All right.
Going once. Going twice. To the man in the blue. You're wearing
I'm
black.
the only one wearing blue, Madison.
I know. I was looking at Eric, and then I saw the blue at the corner of my eye, and I was gonna say black, but blue came out because
That's
it was start with a
hurtful.
B. I know. I'm
you done
sorry.
fucked up, Aaron.
Dude,
I
twice
know.
today.
I know.
I can't help it.
You're a
Public
dick.
school is confusing me.
I'm not one of those people. I know I'm a girl.
I'm sorry. Public school is confusing me.
Ouch.
How many assholes we got on this ship
Too
anyhow?
many.
Yo!
I
Knew
know.
it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into rating this fucking movie.
I'm so sorry, Karen. I love you.
It's hurtful.
Yeah.
Let's rock out this bitch.
Whose turn is it to do Rotten Tomatoes?
We ain't on that yet.
That's
Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna look it up earlier because I thought it was my turn.
Did you
but I
go
wasn't
through
sure.
any of the?
I only found one bad review.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a high.
Holy shit.
See, you shouldn't ask me that because now I kind of give you guys an
Yes,
idea.
high score.
You shouldn't have said that.
96.
You should have just said
We're
yes,
not
I
on
did it.
Rotten Tomatoes yet. We're still
Yeah, we're
doing
still
reviews.
doing our reviews.
Oh.
Starting with you, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, I like this movie. I thought it was really good. I like the first one more actually, which is weird. But I guess it was. I don't really know why, because the plot made more sense before it got into all of the other stuff. I
Shit.
guess. Which this one was still really cool.
Mitigate that. It was an accident push.
Which this one was still really cool and everything, but like I still like the first one more. What did I rate the first one?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Just rate this one.
But I don't want to say I like the first one more than rate this one
I'm
higher.
not scrolling all over hell and half of Georgia to get to your other one.
I'll take that back. There's a few.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 6.5. I guess.
Now, what was her score?
Oh God.
Damn it.
Now are you gonna look it up?
Yeah.
You should.
I should.
You should never ask her score before you give a score. Like that's a cop out, in my opinion.
What'd you say? Nothing.
I said, shut up, Madison.
I know you are, but what am I? Or, yeah.
You're copying the Resident
Yeah.
Evil thing. You cannot
Kids.
say what I already.
I know the kid's voice is stuck in my head.
She
I
gave
know
it an
you are,
8.
but what am I?
An 8. Wow. And you gave this a 6.5.
Yeah, I like the other one more.
A lot more, apparently.
It's only a point
For
and a
me,
half.
I think that this movie is the weakest of the three, in my opinion. Now, I know that other people would differ, but only because the third one's great because it's a Western. The first one's great because it's almost
It's the start.
It's almost a flawless movie, really. It is a great fucking movie. But the third one's my favorite because it's just in the West. But this one is good. It kind of stands alone as the one that like is in the future, the past, the present, an alternate present, and the repercussions, all those things. I think it's great for that. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that people probably think more highly of this one than they do of the third one. Like, I would think so.
Dad likes westerns, so.
I do. I like westerns. I think they're fun. I know a lot of, like, whenever I was a kid, I hated them. But I grew up to love them. So, anyway, I think that this movie still fucking holds up, and I still think it's a great movie, and I still think it's wonderful. And aside from, like, you know, the glaring character plot hole with Doc Brown, it's still, I know that they had to come up with something to move the franchise forward and things like that.
Get Jennifer out of the way.
Get Jennifer out of the way and all that stuff. Yeah, I get why they did what they did. So I'm not going to ding it for it. And I'm still going to give the movie an 8. So it's still a good movie. You know, I'm not going to hate on it. It's still fun. I don't know what I gave the first one. Probably like an 8.5 or 9, I would think.
I'll go back to the first one when we get
That's
done.
fine. Go ahead, Karen.
So my favorite thing about this movie is the fact that they go all over the place. And there's an alternate timeline, so it gives you, you know, he's been doing nothing but harping about, like, what could happen if you mess with stuff. And we've never seen it, though. Like, other than the fact that, you know, in the first one where he starts to disappear, but they're able to fix all of that, you know? You don't actually get to see what happens other than what could happen. And to actually go into an alternate timeline and see what happens was kind of neat. But yeah, there's, to me, the worst thing about this movie is that plot hole with Lorraine. I just don't think that it fits her character to have stayed and married Biff.
I agree.
That's glaring to me. I don't understand.
It's very out of character for her.
Yeah. I mean, unless there was something crazy with the money, or like somehow Biff was able to keep the money from her.
Or maybe
he
he blackmailed her into marriage.
Yeah, or you know, like he was able to.
Well, if you remember in the movie, they showed a picture of them on their wedding day.
Oh yeah, well, it showed a video.
She even looked miserable.
Oh, she did. 100%.
So maybe it had something to do with like one of her kids going to jail or something happened where he's like, I can bail you out, but
well,
you have to marry
he
me.
did mention something about
the oldest one being in and out of jail.
No, it was Linda settling her own debts. Dave
going back to jail.
No,
Yeah,
it was
'cause he
Marty
was on-
staying out of jail.
No, it was
Yeah,
him. It was him too.
Yeah, it was the oldest.
It
Was
was
it
the oldest
Dave?
one too, in and out of jail.
I just remember him
Marty
saying
was
something
going
about
back and forth between school. Like,
no,
Yeah,
because he
was
said
getting
he
kicked out
said
of
Marty. Well, you know what'll happen to Marty, and he said something about him going to prison or something.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
But anyway, that could be. So maybe that's not so much a glaring plot hole. So I guess I can let that go. But to me, you can't really ding any time travel movie for time travel plot holes because there's no way to make it perfect when it comes to time travel stuff, unless it's ridiculous. If you're making a time travel movie, you should at least try. But anyway, I love the futuristic stuff that they did try for. I mean, you're never going to get that right either.
I did like the reference to Jaws 19. He said, "Still looks fake."
Yeah, I got it.
I love it because it was didn't Steven
This-
Spielberg he produced these.
Yes.
yeah, this time it's
So-
really, 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 really personal.
Oh god, I can't wait for trivia, you guys. Seriously.
Did you see that?
Is that what it said? It was
yeah,
really,
this
really,
time it's really,
personal.
really personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that. There's a lot of things I really like about this movie. I like that they kept the soundtracks the same. And then they alter it a little bit for the third one, giving it that Western kind of sound. I like that stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna give it an 8 too. It's my favorite one, but it does have its flaws. It's got the weakest. I agree. It's got the weakest as far as like, you know, the plot. But I love all of the back and forth time travel and the alternate. I just like that. That's my favorite part about it.
I think
all of the movies.
I think one of my biggest issues with this one and the first one, honestly, that you get more of out of the third one, why I like it, is because you get more development of Doc Brown.
And more Western.
Like Doc Brown is like the central character along with Marty, and you don't really know much, or he doesn't really have a large role. Like he
yeah, it
should.
focuses a lot on Marty and
Exactly,
his family.
but like in the third one, it focuses more on Doc Brown and his happiness. You know? And I really like that.
Yeah,
So.
no, I don't disagree. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a lot of it what you guys just said. Biggest one for me was, like I said, the plot hole threw me off. I had an issue with it.
Stop.
I'm going to come in as probably, I'll say 7.5 for me.
7.5.
7.5.
So
Okay.
the aggregate would be 7.5.
Yeah, I'm right on the nose.
What was the first one?
I'm looking at it.
I bet it was way higher.
No, I'm sure.
I was like 8.
It's an 8.
8.
8 even.
What everybody give it?
8.5, 7.5, 8, 8.
Yeah, I didn't think this was better than the first movie. So
I can tell you right now, the third one's probably going to be about an 8.5 too.
Maybe.
For me. Because I like the first one a lot, but like it's almost...
The first one's like the least for me. Just
Really?
it's boring to me.
I like it just because of I love the 1950s and shit like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I like that, but
think
I
it's still
get
boring.
why you would think it was boring too. So yeah.
I get it sets everything up, and to me, Lorraine and George just aren't very interesting.
That is true. They're not. Well, I don't know. George was though. I like Crispin Glover and the way he acts and all that. But like, I can see why you would think. I could see why people would think the first one would be boring. So I don't blame you for that. Anyway, Karen, let's get into that. Oh no, sorry. We got to do.
All right, so Rotten Tomatoes. what do you-
92 for critics.
For critics, 92.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a 92.
87.
Oof. God damn. I was gonna go 89. I don't know if I want to now.
92, 87.
Just 1 pointer.
I bet people really like this though. I
We're
bet they're
talking
not
about
gonna like it
critics
as much
right
as the
now.
first one. Yeah, I know. The critics are gonna like this one more than the first one, or I mean, less than the first one. Fuck it. I'm gonna go 89. I'm probably wrong, but
Karen's going to take it.
what you get?
It's 63.
63%. God damn, dude. That was
That's
way off.
critics.
Yeah.
Well, see, talking about the scores or the comments is what threw you off.
For the people, I'm gonna say 93.
93.
Yeah.
96.
It's definitely going to be liked a lot more by fans. What'd you say?
96.
93.
95 or 93.
96, 93. I'm going to go 90.
You'll get it. It's 85.
Oh.
So,
So apparently it's not liked as much either. I'll be interested to see what the third one is.
I've only seen 2 bad reviews. I've went through like 5 pages. So the first,
Probably because people are like
85%.
yeah, but I believe that a lot of them are probably like middle of the ground, you know,
Yeah.
like 3-4 stars, blah blah blah.
So 1 star here says trope level equals 1940s cinema. For sure, most 80s movies had this problem. They beat you over the head with character traits so blatantly that they created caricatures instead of characters. And the original certainly overdid this, but BTTFLL?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future too.
Takes it to a whole different level. It's exhausting and not even slightly funny.
I do agree with that. The one thing that because one of the biggest things about the future setting was how cartoonish and goofy and almost SNL-esque that the whole future setting with like Marty and his family was. It was literally him playing every character except for like his mom and dad and his wife. Like he played his own son and daughter, he played himself, and it was just very goofy. You know, and I don't think I like that. I think that they should have brought somebody in to at least play his daughter. Maybe not his son, but at least play his daughter.
He played as his own daughter.
Yeah,
too.
he played as his own daughter, and that really bothered me a lot. And then like him in the like old person makeup and the way he acted just wasn't Marty McFly to me, and that really bothered me too a lot. So it was just I get what he's saying, like what that person is saying, because they were almost characters of characters.
Well, as far as old Marty McFly, he was kind of beat down.
I get it, maybe, but
I mean, he
they're
can't
rehashing
play.
what they did in the first one with George McFly.
I mean, he can't
And-
play the guitar anymore. He just got fired. Like,
I don't know.
he's a
man.
shadow of himself, is what they're trying to point out, I guess.
But yet he still has the confidence and the woo to have Jennifer still, apparently, somehow. I don't know. I think that I agree with that guy. I think that at least for that in the future setting, their goofball character, even like Biff playing, or the guy who plays Biff playing Griff, and he's even like just over the top retarded.
They're all of Biff's characters are over the top.
Yeah, but like
all
that
of
character
them.
is like borderline mentally retarded. So
They're all that way, I think.
So-
Even Biff in the 50s.
I like Biff in the 50s though. I think he's funny.
Yeah.
I love that act. I think he did such a good job with the characters though.
I'm not saying he didn't.
I,
They're
that's,
just
that's,
all...
that's the problem with him is I'm surprised he didn't.
And
Get
I think
more
that's
work,
I
man.
think that's supposed to be the point, is like as you see like Biff through the generations, I think he's supposed to get stupider.
dumber and dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like that actor, I'm surprised he didn't
funny.
get.
The old version of Biff was calling the young version a dumbass.
Yeah.
Oh
right.
yeah.
Cool. He had grown in age and.
Yeah, he was like, "You sound like an idiot."
You
when
sound like
yeah.
an idiot.
Yeah.
He's like, "It's make like a tree and leave."
Yeah.
But like
He
I think-
learned.
I'm surprised that actor didn't get more work after doing
Oh,
these
yeah.
movies. I'm so surprised.
You ever
like,
see that song he came out with?
No.
It's a song about like all the questions that people ask him about Back to the Future, and like one of them is like, "How is Michael J. Fox? He's nice." Like it's really funny. You should look it up.
All right. Sorry.
And the second one, I can't really say anything about this one. It's the only other one I can find. It's a 2-star. But the guy says, I don't know why, but these films weren't my cup of tea. Which, that's your opinion. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
And I don't know why. So that's
Well, I mean,
fair.
some people like more
It
serious.
was
Well,
a
so
fair-
he said, "I don't know."
It's,
That's fair.
it's
That's
a
fair.
fair opinion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not really going to knock that.
No.
There really isn't any bad reviews on this. All these, most of them are 4.5, 5 stars. Hell, I don't even see 3 stars in here. It's mostly 4.5s and 5s.
How does it have a fucking?
I have no idea. Like I said, I'm down 5 pages in.
Rigged.
Which I guess 85%.
Yeah, but
Even
you would,
still, though,
you
you'd
would
still get a
think
few
you would
in
see
there,
a little,
yeah.
a little bit more. But no, I'm like 5 going on 6 pages in, and I'm still not finding nothing.
I don't know then.
Don't make much sense.
No.
I'll give it one more shot to see if I see anything else. Well, wait, here we go. We got our 1 star. Cannot believe the good reviews here. Did the reviewers actually see this movie recently, or are they going on a washed out memory of cherished childhood's institution? Do not waste your time. This movie is absolutely terrible. The first half of the movie is completely awful, non-stop stupid. It improved somewhat after it finally got out of 2015. But by then I was already mentally exhausted from being continually bashed with absurdity. This movie is mere shadow of the original, same zany characters, but it's all just gloss, no guts, just a senseless screamy, screeching, immature screenplay that at best might appeal to toddlers who are entertained by bright colors, stupid clothes, and childlike outbursts. This
so they
person really
like,
hated this movie.
Yeah, I feel like people really just like went off of like the future setting and was like, this is the whole movie.
But didn't realize how much it's supposed to play into
right,
the
and
others.
the future setting isn't a large part of the movie. Like, it's only like the first, 15,
It's
20
literally
minutes?
just there to set up the rest of the movie and show you, like, where you're going.
Exactly. And then after that, it goes back into the past, or it goes back into
1985, but it's the alternate,
and then it goes back into 1955. You know what I mean? And I don't know how I don't understand why you would judge the whole movie off of the first 20 minutes.
This person said they couldn't make it past the first 20 minutes, and why are you leaving a review?
Exactly, the first 20 minutes, like I just fucking said.
This movie is like when you have an essay due at midnight and you start it 2 hours before. Good idea, but makes 0 sense.
That's not a good idea, though.
It does make sense. I don't know what they're saying. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's go ahead.
Let's move on here. Let's get into some trivia here. Karen, give us some of that sweet ass trivia.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
To commemorate the release of a 30th anniversary Back to the Future trilogy Blu-ray and DVD release, a short movie called Back to the Future: Doc Brown Saves the World was filmed with Christopher Lloyd reprising his role of Doc Brown. In the movie, Doc tapes a video message explaining that he traveled to the 2040s in a rebuilt DeLorean and discovered that inventions such as the hoverboard and dehydrated food will cause people to become massively overweight. Even worse, a simultaneous glitch in every nuclear Mr. Fusion device on the planet will cause a nuclear holocaust that decimates the world's population. He subsequently travels back in time and successfully prevents such dangerous devices from ever being invented, thus explaining why the future 2015 as seen in the movie did not come true in reality.
So, when was this made?
It's on... Do you have the Blu-rays?
Mm-hmm.
It's on there.
Oh,
it's on there as a... We watched it.
Hmm.
It's on there as a... the 30th anniversary Back to the Future trilogy Blu-ray and DVD release. As an extra or something.
When was it filmed, though?
2015.
Really?
The plot line of George McFly being dead in 1985A was based entirely on Crispin Glover's refusal to do the sequel. After Biff gets his cane back in the DeLorean upon returning to 2015, he starts to thrash around in pain, apparently having a hard time from the exertion. Robert Zemeckis has stated that Biff was experiencing the same thing Marty did at the dance in the first movie, fading out of history. The idea was that by going back in time to give the sports almanac to his younger self, Biff had somehow altered his own future so that he no longer existed in the year 2015. According to script drafts, Biff's wife, Marty's mother, had shot and killed the abusive Biff in 1996. A deleted scene in the DVD extras makes this much clearer as we actually see Biff vanish.
I was going to say, the life that he was living, like through 1985 and that, you see him the way he is, it would only make sense that he either died from like an overdose of some kind, or just unhealthy living, or even, being shot by somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like that would make more sense than living the safe lifestyle that he had been living just by being, like car detailer,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Apparently there's a TV series. It's got one season.
Probably there's a cartoon.
Expedition Back to the Future.
I know there's a cartoon series.
Came out 2021.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. I know there was a cartoon, though, about Doc Brown and his family.
It says, Josh Gates and Christopher Lloyd set out on an epic journey in search of the iconic DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future. trilogy of movies, hoping to deliver to Michael J. Fox Foundation. So it's like they're just going.
It sounds like a docuseries.
Yeah.
Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale have admitted on the DVD commentary that they were originally not interested in doing a sequel to their success hit Back to the Future, and that the open ending of the first movie was simply meant as a joke. However, when plans for a sequel were made by the studio, they chose to remain involved in the continuation of their creation and even extended it to 2 sequels. Zemeckis has claimed that if he knew that he was going to make a sequel, he would have made sure that Marty's girlfriend Jennifer wasn't in the car at the end of the first film. Since the movie would concentrate on Marty, there was not much for her to do, and she would even get in his way. That is why Jennifer is knocked out by Doc and left behind so early in the movie. According to Michael J. Fox, he found out there was going to be a sequel to Back to the Future when he watched the VHS version and the words "to be continued" were added at the end. He immediately called his agent to make sure that he was going to be in the sequel.
It's crazy because a lot of actors don't even watch their own movies.
Right. Astrophysicist Carl Sagan considered this the greatest time travel movie ever made. He praised the accuracy in handling the multiple timelines as what would really happen if time travel were possible. In Back to the Future, the game, Carl Sagan is the alias used by Doc Brown when visiting Hill Valley in 1931. Director Robert Zemeckis stated that the high school dance scene from 1955 had to have the same costumes because it would be shot from a different angle. The production was nearly delayed because Lorraine's dress couldn't be found, even though they had 3 different versions of it made in 1985. Leah Thompson then revealed to Zemeckis that she still had one of the original dresses and had to drive back home to get it. In this movie, a disguised 1985 Doc Brown holds a conversation with his 1955 counterpart. 1985 Doc is wearing a brown trench coat and hat. If you look carefully in Back to the Future 1985, you can see a man dressed exactly like this, and therefore presumably Doc, walking away shortly before the clock tower scene. In the DVD commentary, it is explained that this was not intentional, as the script for Back to the Future Part 2 hadn't even been written at the time that they filmed the first one.
Or was it, though?
Right?
Maybe
Isn't that crazy?
Back in time.
In the promotional material Back to the Future Part 2 behind the scenes special presentation, director Robert Zemeckis explained that the hoverboards float on magnetic energy. He also added, "They've been around for years, it's just that the parent groups haven't let the toy manufacturers make them, but we got our hands on some and put them in the movie." He was only joking, of course, but interestingly enough, Mattel, whose logo appeared on the hoverboard props, soon found themselves overwhelmed with callers asking where they could buy one. Although they looked pretty convincing in the movie, the hoverboards were simply wooden props attached to the actors and the actresses' feet. To make their hoverboards fly, the actors were suspended by cables, which were then erased during post-production. I think that's hilarious that he said that, and then almost caused a panic.
Yeah. It's funny because you say magnetic things. It's funny, my birthday was just this past weekend, and my sister got me, I think you saw it, didn't you? Mm-hmm. She got me a pot that literally floats above a base, and it uses magnets to float. I'm going to put a bonsai tree or something in it. But like it'll literally float and it just like hovers there like a hoverboard. It's wild how it works. But the thing is the way that the magnetic energy would have to work is it'd be impossible for a hoverboard to do that because the magnetic energy would have to be not only in the board but also in the ground. So there's no way that it could work.
Well, I mean, basically you'd be using the Earth's magnetic pull against it.
Don't we have a
We do, but like it's not near strong enough to
there's nothing
to sustain that weight of a person on top of another magnet.
The size of a magnet that you'd have to have on your feet.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
Ungodly.
Not to mention, there's no way to control. Like you'd have to be able to control that magnetic push, and there's no way to do that within the magnetic. Or like the magnetism in the earth, it's impossible. It'd be unstable.
They do it with trains, but that's about the gist of what they got when it comes to transportation with magnetics. But you literally have to have like a track that you would have to follow.
Gotcha.
You do like a skateboard park like that.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I mean, you could.
It'd be expensive.
I mean, your whole,
Not to mention you'd have to like loan them boards out. There'd be no way to.
Yeah.
And boards alone would be expensive. Wow, that'd be an expensive park. All just to do away with wheels.
It'd be a kind of a trip.
It would be a trip though.
I think it'd fade pretty quickly, though. I think people would be like, yeah, this is boring now.
Yeah, this is dumb. Like, we can just go get real skateboards and wheels. Not to mention, I think it would be really hard to stabilize something like that with magnets. I think it'd be really hard to be able to...
You imagine if you, like, hit the wrong, like
the wrong pole?
Yeah, the wrong pole, and like, whoa!
Well, they would all have to be opposite what you're using, but then it would be so hard to balance on that. It would be almost impossible.
You imagine, like, just... it. Yeah, I mean, not to mention, like, any kind of, like, earthquake could reverse the magnetic pole.
Yeah, it would be too dangerous. Like, you'd be getting sued a lot.
Let's do it.
Let's go bankrupt.
Just make them sign a waiver, like...
We'll call it the Bonsai Skate Park.
You break any limbs, you fall off, you get ran over, even though we don't have wheels.
You get injured here. You get injured here.
You take a board to the face.
That's on you.
The injuries are here or not. We are not liable for any injuries that occur.
Yeah. We are not liable for
Don't
any
call your lawyer because we'll
punch
him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
The lawyers are abolished.
Punch him in the face. It says it right there. We said we were going to punch him in the face.
Back to the future. Lawyers have been abolished.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you try to call a lawyer, we have the right to punch you.
No, I mean, it says it right there when they walk in. We are not liable for any injuries that occur on this.
You have to make them agree, though. It has to be on paper.
They walk in with the sign right there. That's them agreeing to it.
Yeah, but paper contracts, man. I mean everything.
That is paper contract. That's you walking in.
But I want them to
the
sign
sign's
it.
right there.
I don't want to take any chances. They have to sign it with a list of
Why don't we just hold their arm up the back, like the middle of their back, and make them say "uncle" before they walk in?
Yeah.
That's enough, right?
I mean, whatever. I think you guys are really overthinking this.
That was my joke.
Oh.
Put a paintball area right on the side of it.
So we can just shoot them off their boards?
Yeah.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah. That would be
All right, Karen. Any more trivia?
Mm-hmm.
You got them
Frozen
blasters.
paintballs.
Oh, my God.
I'm about to get the boys on the hoverboards this summer and then shoot them.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
Continue.
The tagline for Jaws 19 is "This time it's really, really personal." On the marquee is the name of the director, Max Spielberg. Executive producer Steven Spielberg's son. Spielberg actually came up with that joke and the idea of using his son's name as the director. Max was born in June of 1985, the same year the first film in the franchise was released. Spielberg also came up with Marty's response to seeing the hologram, "The shark still looks fake," referring to Spielberg's frustration and doubts about Bruce, the mechanical shark in Jaws. A fake teaser trailer for the non-existent Jaws 19 was released on October 21st, 2015. That is also on your...
Is it?
We watched it. It's totally worth it.
I need to go back and watch this shit.
It describes all 19 movies as follows. Jaws made you afraid to go in the water. Jaws 2 made you afraid to go back in the water. Jaws 3D was a new dimension in terror. Jaws the Revenge, it was personal. Jaws 5 was just business. Jaws 6 was pure pleasure, suggesting a romantic subplot. Jaws 7... Jaws 7 was Cyber Jaws, suggesting the shark had somehow gone digital. Jaws 8 was Robo Jaws, a spoof of RoboCop. Jaws 9 featured Chief Brody's grandson assembling a super team of shark hunters.
I want to see Robo Jaws.
Jaws 10 was man versus shark versus all the terrors of the deep, suggesting a giant squid showdown. Jaws 11 took place in outer space. Jaws 12 was a prequel. Jaws 13 was Jaws 12 Part 2. A sequel to the prequel.
A sequel to the prequel.
Jaws 14 had Jaws starting a family. And Jaws 15, Jaws battled a Russian shark named Ivan Sharkvosky.
Ivan Sharkvosky.
Oh my God.
It's a spoof of Rocky IV. In Jaws 16, Jaws took a bite out of the Big Apple. In Jaws 17, 50 Scales of Grey. Jaws learns about love from a mysterious stranger. Jaws 18 was the mind-blowing reboot, and finally, Jaws 19. The oceans are disappearing, and to save their home, the sharks must attack. This time, it's really, really personal.
Okay.
I like all of those.
I know, right?
I'd
If
watch
those
that
existed,
entire
I would watch
franchise.
every single one of them.
I'd watch every one of those, the entire franchise.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I check it out. After production wrapped, Leah Thompson took home the prosthetic of Lorraine's breast implants from 1985A.
Why?
As it was a mold of her real chest, she didn't want it falling into the wrong hands.
That's funny how she put that.
Yes. In front of the entrance to Biff Tannen's museum, there is a sign that reads, "Smoking required." Robert Zemeckis considers this one of his favorite and strangest films. This film introduces a new character trait for Marty, losing his temper and self-control when someone calls him a chicken. Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale added this idea because they felt that Marty did not have any character flaws in the first film. I think I remember bringing that up in the first one because I was like, why didn't he freak out when anybody called him a chicken? And I forgot that he didn't have that character flaw in the first one.
Did nobody called him a chicken in the first one, did they?
No, but he didn't have it. This was the first time that they brought that in. And
you're right though, like your main character needs a flaw.
They were absolutely right to give, because it is one of the most endearing things, and people remember that.
Yeah.
You know, because like I remember watching the first one this time and going, wait, why isn't he getting mad when people call him? Why isn't anybody calling him a chicken? Yeah. In the original script, Paul Peabody was to have been evaluated at a mental institute for claiming to have seen a spacecraft, the DeLorean, in the first film. As soon as he is released, he sees a flying DeLorean and fires his shotgun at it, damaging the time circuits. This is the reason the destination time display flickers over to read January 1, 1855, 12 a.m. On the Region 1 DVD commentary, Bob Gale mentions the scene was dropped when Will Hare was not available to return for the sequel. How funny would that have been? I'm so upset that that's not what they did.
You're talking about the Twin
Pines guy. Yeah, he ended up in a mental institute because he was babbling about aliens, and then he gets released and he sees one right away and shoots at it. Probably gonna go right back in. Let's see.
It's almost like the Avatar with the guy with the cabbages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cabbages!
Not my cabbages! It was in the,
I even moved to a different town!
Near the end of the film, when Marty is attempting to steal the almanac back from Biff, they approach and eventually drive through a tunnel. This is the same tunnel private investigator Eddie Valiant drives through to reach Toontown in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was likewise directed by Robert Zemeckis and starred Christopher Lloyd. When the unconscious Jennifer is taken home by the two officers in 2015, it looks as if they took great pains to conceal the identity of one officer. Her face is kept in the dark, and her cap is even kept to where the bill is hiding her eyes. The actress portraying Officer Reese was Mary Ellen Trainor, who was Robert Zemeckis' wife at the time. I never noticed that, but I watched really hard this time, and it was her.
So the girl who was picking up
one of the cops,
Jennifer,
in the future,
the one standing up, yeah, was the one standing up, or the one?
It was the one that was driving, because when she gets out was when I could see it was her.
Oh.
When she gets out and the camera's like in front of her, when she first gets out of the car and she kind of looks up just enough, and you can tell it's her.
Oh.
When Doc sees the future newspaper headline change to tell him that he was commended instead of committed, a headline at the bottom of the page changes from Nixon seeks 5th term to Reagan seeks 2nd term. The Cafe 80s was likely inspired by the 1950s themed diners, which first became popular during the 1980s. In addition, it accurately predicted the popularity of 1980s nostalgia during the 2000s. All the cars in the film were recycled from other movies set in the future.
I kind of thought that too. Whenever I was
I know.
watching,
I thought
was
this
like, a diner 80s or whatever. I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. Even today, that's still there's a lot of 80s nostalgia.
Yeah. So all the cars in the film were recycled.
Maybe that's what we need to do is make an 80s diner.
It kind of already is. Well, sort of with the spot. I guess they're more 1950s.
They're still 50s. Yeah, they're still 50s.
All the cars in the film were recycled from other movies set in the future, including a Spinner from Blade Runner and the Star car from Last Starfighter. Other cars seen are highly modified Ford Probes and Mustangs, as well as concept cars.
I did see that. I saw a Fox body Mustang.
Mm-hmm. In the beginning of the film, Biff intends to show Marty new matchbooks he has to advertise his auto detailing company before witnessing the flying DeLorean. Later in 1985A, Marty takes a matchbook from Biff's office with the words Pleasure Paradise on the back. Finally, when Marty burns the almanac, the matchbook changes to read auto detailing. I'd never noticed that before, that it was from the match that he had taken from Biff's place. I never really, I don't know why I never noticed that before. The original draft of the script had Doc and Marty traveling to 1967 instead of back to 1955 to stop Biff. Marty once again encounters his mother and accidentally prevents her from going on vacation with his father, thus stopping his own conception and endangering his existence once more. Throughout the 1967 scenes, the 1985 Doc is continuously hiding from his 1967 counterpart, but the duo requires the younger version's help since the Mr. Fusion is broken. That's too close to the first one, I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't go with that. A deleted scene involving Wendy Jo Sperber appearing as a hooker was canceled due to her being pregnant at the time, as she could not appear. It was also decided that an adjacent scene with brother Dave McFly as a drunk would not be included because fans would wonder what happened to her. In an interview years later, after working on this film, Flea, Needles, called this movie a multi-million-dollar piece of trash.
Oh.
Really? He hated it that much, huh?
I guess.
He returned for the third.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
For a brief time.
Yeah, he wasn't in it very long.
So this kills me. Okay, Match says we can do this the hard way or the easy way, then hits Marty over the head. The screen goes black and you hear a deep voice with an echo saying the easy way. So who did you guys think was saying the easy way?
I thought it was him.
You thought it was Marty?
No, I thought it was Match.
Okay, you thought it was Match.
Yeah.
Okay, you? Everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was... I always thought it was Match saying that because, like, it's like, I'm going to hit you and just make it easy on myself, right? No, apparently it was Marty, like, saying it, like, don't hit me, make it easy. And, because apparently if you take and raise the pitch by 25%, it's Michael J. Fox's voice. I don't know. That was weird to me.
Yeah, that is weird because I thought Match said it.
Yeah, and it makes...
Because he says it after he's hit over the head.
I guess it makes just as much sense for either one of them to say it. Because, like, if you're saying it and then you're being passed out at the same time, you're going to hear yourself saying it. And, either way, it makes sense. But I always thought it made more sense for Match to be saying it. Because they've obviously been through this a few times. Like, and I'm sure that they've fought with him before. They're just like, we're not fighting with you. The easy way.
The easy way, yeah.
Nicole Kidman, who was still an unknown actress at the time, was about to be considered to replace Claudia Wells in the role of Jennifer Parker, as the actress had been recommended by Billy Zane, with whom she had previously worked on the film Dead Calm. Although the casting director thought that she was very good and ideal for the role, she was ruled out for being too tall for actor Michael J. Fox.
Wow.
Michael J. Fox is a short dude.
He is. Yeah, that's it.
All right. That's Back to the Future Part Deuce. We got one more of them fuckers to go.
You say it like that's a bad thing.
It's not, because the last one is my favorite.
That's what I was saying.
All right, let's do it.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
You dropped one.
Okay, that's what.
Is that the one you're going with?
Yeah. Evil Dead.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen the...
It's the second one.
I haven't seen
Evil
the
Dead
second
2.
That is... Give me a second.
You guys said this was like a remake of the first one, but...
Only funny.
Kind of, yeah.
But they meant for it to be funny this time?
Yeah, this one they meant for it.
This one's amazing.
I'll swallow your soul.
I've been waiting to get this one. Ada's going to want to watch this one, too.
This thing's taking forever, see? I'm waiting for it.
This... I don't know if this is streaming on anything or not.
I will find out.
I have 2 copies of the Blu-ray because I accidentally bought it twice. Because back when we did Evil Dead, I was looking for
IndieFlix is the only place I see it streaming.
I can let you borrow it. I've got 2 copies. Anyway, next week, Evil Dead Deuce. Well, we're getting into the sequels now. That's awesome. 2 sequels back to back.
One more to go. Be my favorite one.
Woo!
Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
I need these Ninja Turtles to pop up, okay?
No, we haven't pulled any of the
Having
Ninja
withdrawals.
Turtles. That's wild.
I'm sorry.
It's just whatever's in the box, man.
Yeah. I don't even look half the time. Like, you had to tell me one fell out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
I was kind of hoping it'd be Ninja Turtles. I was trying to read it from here. I saw the E. I thought it said Eddie, but I guess it didn't.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah.
We're watching Eddie.
We're watching Eddie next week.
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen.
You can't even rent this off of Amazon. That's pretty fucked up.
I fucked up. It's fucked up.
Fucked up.
I'll just let you borrow it. I got it upstairs. All right, so next week we're going to do Evil Dead Deuce. And don't forget to check out all our social stuff, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And then don't forget to jump in and talk to us on Discord.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you can just go to our description and click the link, and it'll take you right to the invite to the Discord.
Yeah.
Just join right up there. Don't even have to. You really don't have to do much, really. If, just hell, I post new trailers in there. As a matter of fact, I post so many trailers that I posted a trailer for a trailer. It was a trailer for the new Joker movie coming out, but it was a trailer for the trailer of the Joker movie. That's.
I haven't been on today.
Posted that today, so there's a couple other trailers I posted in there today. So
I haven't been on past.
Wow, Eric, way to drop
I
the
haven't.
fucking ball.
I haven't been
He doesn't care about this podcast.
Haven't you had
Well,
like
I
last
didn't
even
I
love
comment
us.
like what was
Yeah,
it, a
'cause, like,
couple
we're
days
not-
ago?
All busy.
I was gonna
Hey.
say, aren't you not even working right now?
No, I'm back to work
Oh, are you? Did they send you back today?
For a couple of days.
for a little while.
What
I may not be
about
able
before that, though, Eric? Huh? He's like, I have no excuse.
No, none.
That's all right. Anyway, if you guys have anything to say, I'm always on Discord. I also get notifications on my phone, so if you guys jump in there and say anything, I will automatically respond because I get notifications.
He loves you guys more than we do.
No, I just want to interact with you.
Hey,
So
I
you don't love
commented a few days ago.
So you
I
don't
was in
love
there.
him.
I was in there a few days ago.
Eric or Alex in there a lot too, though.
Yeah,
so.
he is. He's been. I think he's in it more than anybody, really. Just
Not
about,
more than me.
You and
but
him
like-
are about.
But like
go back
he'll get in there and
forth.
post. He's been posting a lot of wrestling stuff. He
Yeah.
really wants us to get into wrestling. Eric or Alec, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, man. I did see the highlights from WrestleMania, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to
So
watch.
did I.
I'm so far behind on wrestling. It's been probably fucking.
I
20
haven't
years
watched.
since
I
I've
haven't
seen
watched wrestling
watched
since the Attitude Era.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
The
back
only
whenever The Rock
wrestler
was
I
still
know-
like the people's champion.
And Stone Cold was like the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only person I know from right now is Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because she's posted everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
I
is.
know.
She's the biggest woman superstar right now.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
She's
She's
like
like
She's
the
like
new,
this big, tall,
new
goth
punk
chick.
China. New punk China.
She's not near as big as China was. China
No.
was like on it, steroids.
Yeah,
And
she
there was
don't
this
look like a
other
man.
chick
Like
that I
She don't look like
She
a
don't
man
look-
yet.
She don't look like a man.
she no look like a man.
Not
She
like
don't
a
look
man.
like a man. No.
She don't have the hair
No,
like a man.
She still has her very feminine features.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
she's Australian.
Yeah. She's not ugly.
No, she's actually
she's a
pretty.
big chick. She's like,
Yeah, she's
but she
very
works out.
muscular.
very natural. Yeah. It's like
You
this
see
big
it?
goth chick.
Yeah,
Can't do that.
she did have the same outfit as China. She did like a China callback.
Did she?
Yeah, she wore the same outfit she had on.
Yeah, I like Rhea. I've seen interviews and stuff with her and stuff. She's pretty
She's
cool. Pretty
Yeah.
cool chick. Anyway, moving on. Don't forget to check out next week. Check us out next week for Evil Dead 2. And don't forget all the social stuff. And until then, like I said last week, make sure you wipe your buttholes.
You said that? Why?
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Deuces, no pun intended.